The following is an exclusive high-definition presentation of the UFL on HDNet.
It's exciting. I'm looking forward to this game. The whole league's been excited.
Well, I think our guys really, they want to win this game. I mean, there's two things. Number one, if you want to be in the championship game, we have to win this week. If we don't win this week, we do not get in the championship game.
The football pioneering spirit of the UFL returns to the Golden State, and from San Francisco we come down through the Silicon Valley, where Juniper Serra, the trailblazing pioneer himself, points the way to San Jose. And this way leads possibly to the championship game tonight at Spartan Stadium, where the Redwoods host their second home game, taking on the Las Vegas Locos. And welcome everyone to the HDNet pregame show. Kenny Rice along with Paul McGuire. Glad that you could be with us this evening. It is the fifth game of the regular season, but in essence, this is a playoff game tonight.
Well, if Las Vegas wins, they're in the championship game. Florida wrapped it up a couple of weeks ago. If California wins, we have time during the course of the game to explain to you how they can still get into the championship game.
We'll bring out the abacus and the computer and everything and get it figured out should that be the case. It certainly is a different California team from the one that lost to Vegas in the very first UFL game. One thing has been consistent, as Paul mentioned, Florida. They threw down the gauntlet, said, come and catch us. No one has. We'll have highlights of their game with New York coming up later. And it's either going to be Vegas or California meeting Florida in a couple of weeks in the inaugural UFL championship game. We do know one thing for sure. We're going to see two of the best offensive players in the league on display tonight. Let's start at quarterback with J.P. Lossman for Las Vegas.
He is the number 2 quarterback in the UFL. And J.P. Lossman, at the beginning, his first 3 games, okay, so-so. But Kenny, in the last game, he almost put it all together. Vasso is his quarterback coach. He's also the head coach. He's also the offensive coordinator. He said there was a lot of work with JP that they had to go into through the course of the year. Last week, he almost had it all put together.
You see the cannon of an arm that he possesses with that 60-yard touchdown pass in week 3 against Florida, and that always makes it enticing, doesn't it, for J.P. Lossman? And here's the game you were talking about last week with New York.
Yeah, and then one thing about him is that he has to learn patience, and that's what Coach Vasso said. If I can teach this guy patience, he goes right back to the National Football League.
We have the leading rusher in the league on display in Corey Ross from California. He has been the man that's done the work all year long for the Redwoods.
Well, the number 1 rusher in the UFL, and I'm going to tell you something. This young man, the reason his numbers are a little bit low, I don't understand something. They've only played 4 games. But the reason they are, in the very first games that these 2 guys played, the first game, he didn't play the second half. He pulled a muscle and he was out. Ever since then, he has just torn up the league. And when you look at California and you look at what they can do, is they do it on the ground. They don't necessarily do it in the air, but on the ground, they better stop this guy or Las Vegas, they don't get to the championship game.
And Corey Ross is closing in on 400 yards in only 5 games. He may get that tonight, and he's going to have close to 100 carries. He has been the workhorse throughout this season, and the one guy that Dennis Green has consistently been happy with, I think, in the offense.
Yeah, the one thing about him is he's not just a runner, folks. I mean, the guy can block, and he's also, when he gets the ball, pass receiving in the ball, he's in the open field, he turns into that running back, and he's very hard to bring down.
With us, as always, on the sideline, Natalie Taylor and Ron Kruk. Hello, guys.
Hey, guys, the old saying, keep your enemies closer. Well, that accurately describes the situation with the California Redwoods and the Las Vegas Locos. Since the UFL season began, these 2 teams have lived together in a Casa Grande, Arizona resort and have actually practiced together on adjacent playing fields. So I guess it's only fitting that these 2 teams that know each other so well would be battling it out for the last playoff spot. Several Las Vegas Loco players spoke about the unique situation this week in Casa Grande.
I think the number 1 thing is not to leave your playbook around anywhere or any kind of notes that would give away any secrets. I guess security is number 1.
When you see each other across the way, it's kind of like there's the enemy. Don't let him see what we're doing. And, you know, sometimes we peek over there and like, yeah, I hope they run that. Yeah, I'm going to get them on that.
You can talk a little trash, you know, before the game, the night before the game, 2 nights before the game. If you want to get real in depth with the trash talk, you can go to his room.
Although several players have described the situation and feeling around Casa Grande this week as tense, these guys are professionals, so I have no fights to report on. Natalie Taylor was also in Casa Grande, and right now she's standing by on the California Redwood sidelines. Hey, Nat.
Hey, Ron, and no, I don't have any fights either, but the one thing that did stand out while I was down there is that Coach Green kept talking about how his team has grown together, and the California Redwoods may be the most improved team in the league from the beginning of the season till now. And that improvement was definitely because of a lot of roster changes. But those roster changes paid off throughout the course of the season. Isn't that right, Kenny?
All right, thanks, Natalie. As Natalie pointed out, talking about the roster changes, teams improving. We had a chance to talk to both coaches yesterday. And one thing, Paul, while this is the 5th game of the regular season, basically if this were an NFL schedule, they'd be getting ready to kick it off.
Yeah, no, both Green and Fossil said the same thing yesterday, and you know, when you really think about it, they had 3 weeks of working out, basically together in Casa Grande. Okay, and then they had 4 games so far, which would normally be an NFL preseason. So this, realistically, would be the very first game of the year for these two teams, and they're playing in their 5th game. It is, I'll tell you what, when you talk to the two coaches, though, I can't believe how excited they are about getting ready and having the opportunity maybe to play in the championship game.
Something maybe Dennis Green was concerned about, especially in the second half of the first meeting. Remember, these teams kicked off the entire UFL when they met in Las Vegas, and Denny Green's team came in looking good in the early going of that game, and it was quarterback Shane Boyd going to work, doing it with his feet, scrambling for a touchdown. This team has only thrown 2 touchdown passes all year, but they run the ball well. And then the aforementioned Corey Ross goes around the left side, and it's 14-3, California in control on Vegas's turf.
And Jim Fossil saw about enough. So he went to his football team and he started screaming at the offense. These are the offensive guys, folks, not the defensive guys. And he's screaming at them. Then J.P. Lossman, he comes back. He finds Dorsey for a touchdown. J.P. Lossman will go back again, and he'll find Adam Berger for another touchdown. And it became 17-14.
And then Las Vegas takes over on defense. Wow, did they ever take over? Shane Boyd had done some damage in the first half. Second half, though, under pressure throughout. And he got real familiar with Adrian Awasam. Awasam there. Awasam here. He was everywhere. And Vegas shut down California.
And a great return man, Big J Sams. He gets hit hard, and it's on a kickoff return by Brandon Summerall. Now, Brandon Summerall, who's number 23, will not play tonight. That is a shot. Then, you know what? It's okay for Fossil. They won a game. He said, you can Gatorade me all you want. Las Vegas scored 27 of the last 30 points in that ball game. Total yardage, Vegas 356, California 167.
Lossman had 2 touchdowns in the game, but also 2 fumbles. And when you look at the rushing stat of 81 there, keep in mind, Corey Ross had cramps. He did not play in the second half, the leading rusher for the Redwoods. Now, one thing that Dennis Green did after that first loss, he went to battle. Hey, enough. He has changed 23% of his roster, more than any coach in the league, and it started on the 10th of October, going through the 12th for the second game of the season, and he even made a quarterback change during that time, and Shane Boyd has since regained his starting job, and you can see recently he added a punter, he added a defensive tackle. So Dennis Green has not stopped working and tinkering with that offense and defense since the loss to start the season.
Well, mainly with the defense, because yesterday we talked to Dennis Green. We said, okay, we need the starters on defense. How about this position? He said, no, it'll be the other guys. So they changed 4 different players just on defense alone for this game.
They have receivers going all the way back they brought in for week 2 that have become very valuable for them. We'll see if they get the passing game going again. Now let's go down to Natalie. Natalie, you spent some time with these California Redwoods in the last couple of days.
Absolutely, and it's fair to say they are hungry. And like you guys just pointed out, the last time they faced Las Vegas in that very first game of the UFL, they didn't do so well. So Coach Green made a lot of changes and has also installed a new game plan tonight because he knows how much his players want to play in that championship game. And it depends on tonight's outcome.
Well, I think we got our preparation as far as how we're going to try to play them. They're a very fast team. A lot of explosive plays is what they really like. They throw the ball well. They get the ball into Dede Dorsey's hands very quickly. And so we have to try to find a way kind of to slow them down. They run a fast-paced team.
Talking about that first half, second half, the last time you played them, what was the big change there? Why 2 different halves for your team?
Well, you know, we let them get back in. I mean, we should have been able to maintain that 14-3. Corey Ross was not there in the second half. He got hurt in the first play of the second half, and Corey is, you know, one of the top backs in the league. He had run for 49 yards in the first half. There was no reason for us to think that he would not have been successful in the second half also, and he did not play at all in the second half. I think that was part of it. Then number 2, I mean, they kind of caught up to us a little bit because we were not picking up key first downs, and so our defense was on the field longer than what they should be based on our style of play.
This game's very important to see, you know, what's going to happen. Got to win this game pretty much. Do or die mentality here. How are you approaching the game, or how are you getting that message across to your players?
Well, I think our guys really, they want to win this game. I mean, there's 2 things. Number 1, if you want to be in the championship game, we have to win this week. If we don't win this week, we do not get in the championship game. And so I think that's crucial. We don't feel that we played very well when we were down in Florida. So we think that with Las Vegas and Florida, these are teams that right now, you know, one beat us the last time, the other team beat us the last time. Florida's ranked number 1. We think that we can play a lot better, and I think it's time for us guys to do it. Now, we're also healthier. We feel like we're at kind of our healthiest stage of the season.
You know what? Thank you, Natalie. But the thing about it is, how many times have you heard them say, if you can run the football, you can pass the ball, because the run sets up the pass? Okay, fine. You have Corey Ross. You have the best runner in the UFL. But the thing about it is, we know tonight, if California, if they cannot throw the football, and I'm not talking about Shane Boyd running with the ball from a passing situation, but throw the football, they cannot win this game.
They've had 2 touchdown catches this year. Corey Ross has 1 of them. The seldom used tight end Kai Brown, who's caught only 1 pass this year, has the other. J.P. Lossman, meanwhile, he can have a lot of guys to choose from, and he's used them frequently throughout this season. Ron, what's going on with Las Vegas coming in here?
Well, Kenny, this week I had the chance to talk with head coach Jim Fossil, who is no stranger to big games. After all, he did lead the New York Giants to Super Bowl 35 in 2001. At the beginning of the season, he gathered his team around and told them that the championship game would take place in Las Vegas in their home stadium, and he didn't want 2 other teams from different cities in that title game. Win tonight, and they're in, and they accomplished that goal. Head coach Jim Fossil spoke about the huge opportunity in front of them and a very interesting practice this week in Casa Grande.
Well, I mean, it's going to determine the outcome of our seasons. That's what it's going to do. It's going to determine the outcome. If we don't win, there's a good chance we're not going to the championship game. If we win, we're going to at least be in the championship game. And, you know, I mean, I set our goals high. I mean, we want to be in the championship game. That's played in our city. And, you know, I told our team a long time ago, it better not be 2 other teams playing in our city for the championship.
My first time here in Casa Grande, very interesting situation. Here you are, you basically live with your opponent. I know where you're going,
this is great.
I'm out on the practice field today, and you guys are, I mean, practicing pretty much right next to each other. Is it strange that here you are and now you're facing the team that you have to beat to get to the championship game, and you basically live and practice together?
I've been a coach for 38 years, never practiced on the same field as the team we're playing. And you're talking about a big game. I mean, good grief. And, you know, I see those guys looking over at us. We're looking over them. You can't see much. But I know when they were leaving the field, okay, we were a little ways away. I took the whole team that was standing behind the offense, you know, waiting for the substitution. I said, go over and line up on a sideline, shoulder to shoulder, okay? I want to build a wall over there so they can't see as they walk off the field. You know, it's really strange. We're in the same building. I pass their guys. They go down to the restroom or get a cup of coffee. Hey, how you doing? Hey, Coach, how are you doing? Wait a minute. One of us is going to be eliminated this Saturday night, but it's really unusual.
Fossil was funny talking to him yesterday, too, about that practice field. He talked a lot about it.
Well, he said, well, okay, what we did is we watched where California Denny Green put his team. Now, they got to remember, there's 6 practice areas. He said, wherever they put their team, we went the furthest we could get away from California so we could practice, and then we built the wall.
The 2 teams furthest apart in the league met last night. New York hosting Florida. We'll show you the highlights of the Tusker Sentinels when we come back.
Welcome back to the UFL on HDNet.
About 15 minutes away from kickoff. Beautiful night here in San Jose, 58 degrees. There is a slight westerly wind at Spartan Stadium. It is that football weather, and I tell you, with this kind of weather and what is on the line in the game tonight, possibly a playoff berth will be secured this evening. You know, it's hard not to get excited.
Well, you know, we couldn't have designed this any better. You got two 2-2 teams, and the winner possibly could be the one that goes to the championship game. I mean, I've been excited about this thing for the whole week because when you look at these two teams, they are so evenly matched. I'm looking for a great game.
Oh, me too, Paul. And speaking of, well, great playing, let's take a look at Florida, the team that set the standard for everyone. Against New York, in New York, Terrence Melton forces the Brian Bonner fumble. Jerome Carter gets it, and New York starts off bad. It's Florida's ball.
Well, here's the best quarterback in all of football right here for the UFL, and that's Brooks Bollinger, and he just throws a pass out here to Foster. I mean, they take the lead right away.
Quinn Gray trying to bring his team back, and they mount a drive, 16 yards to Christian Hopkins. Then he goes to the top receiver in the league, Crefonzo Thorpe. But right with him is Fakir Brown. He just rips it away from him. New York has to settle for a field goal. 7-3, Florida leading in the first quarter. And then Quinn Gray threatening here, trying to get in field goal range. Instead, he goes down with an injury, and he is out.
You know, Kenny, up until this point, I thought New York had a pretty good chance, but then Ingo Martins comes in and he throws an interception to Ricky Manning. Again, this young man has not played that much.
And so at halftime, even with the mistakes, the almost what could have been, New York in striking distance, Florida leading it 10-6 as we go into the second half, and then Tatum Bell takes over on the ground, rips right up the middle. Now it's 17-6 in favor of Florida in the third.
Now you're going to understand what I'm talking about. Brooks Bollinger is the best quarterback. Watch this pass to Paris Warren. Take a look at Paris Warren. We're going to show you this on a replay. Goes up between two defenders. This ball is perfectly thrown, and look at the concentration by Warren. Touchdown.
And Jim Haslett's team remains perfect as he and Ted Cottrell shake hands. You look at the final stats and the balance that they have when they need it. The Tuskers, 224 passing, 119 rushing, and only one turnover compared to 4 for the Sentinels. So New York still is yet to win. Florida remains unbeaten. Next week, Florida takes on the Redwoods, and you can see here on HDNet next Friday at 9 Eastern. New York visits Las Vegas. Again, depending on what happens here tonight, these could both be very big games for California and Vegas. And this is California's second home game. First one was at AT&T Park, up the road a little bit in San Francisco. They come to San Jose tonight.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what. I just got the feeling that if California can throw the football, if they can get that ball in the air and find some receivers in this ball game, they have a really good chance of winning.
Special guest down on the field with our own Natalie Taylor. Natalie.
You bet, special guest. In fact, the team owner of the California Redwoods, Mr. Paul Pelosi. Paul, championship game is nearing. End of the season is coming close. What do you think of the first season? Has it met your expectations?
I think it's been great. I mean, I think that Michael Hughes has done a fabulous job organizing this league, and the 4 coaches have been spectacular. They had such, they hit the field middle of September and had the first game October 1st. We're only a month away, and the season's almost over. But I think the product has been great. We're really very excited about it.
Everybody's already talking about the league expanding for next year. What can fans expect to see?
Well, I think they can expect to see a couple of things. First of all, they'll see 2 more teams. We'll have 6 teams instead of 4. So we'll start earlier. We'll start in September instead of October, but we'll still finish at Thanksgiving so that a whole bunch of our players can go on up to the NFL, the place where future stars come to play. And so that dynamic will be the same. There'll just be 2 more cities. And I think what they will see is they'll see a lot more presence of the teams in the local markets. That was perhaps one of the errors that we made this year.
Well, finally, big game tonight for your team, must-win situation. So what do you think has to happen for them to have a chance to play at the championship?
I think they have to just go out and do exactly what Denny Green has asked them to do. They do that, we're in great shape. We got a wonderful coach, we got a great team, and very impressed with the job that Denny and his people have done putting it together.
Well, thank you very much for your time, and he makes it sound easy. Just listen to the coach. Guys, I don't know. We think that'll pay off?
Well, we'll see, Natalie. I hope the players do that. I'm sure he's hoping.
Well, I agree, and I just think one of the things that has to happen, and I've said this too many times so far in the show is that some of the receivers have to step up for California. They've got to be able to find someone to catch the football.
The players step up and talk to us about the importance of this game, playoff implications. When we come back live to San Jose, you're watching the UFL on HDNet. Nearing kickoff here in San Jose, you see J.P. Lossman on the left in action, Shane Boyd on the right. Two different styles of quarterbacks we're going to see tonight.
Yeah, we're going to see a guy that really knows who he has as his receivers. That's the guy on the left, J.P. Lossman. And then we got Shane Boyd, who's trying to find a couple of receivers, or at least one in this game. He's got a running back. He just needs a receiver.
Well, California losing that first game to start the season with Las Vegas. They know the importance of this. They must win to stay alive in the playoff hunt, and they talked about it.
You know, they have bragging rights a little bit from the first game, so we got to wake up every day and see them on the field. You know, since then, we've came together closer, and we've just continue to play better each and every game.
I think that we just got a lot of maturity on this team. I mean, we brought in some guys, and everybody has gelled together, and we're playing together as a unit. And I think you can just see that on the field, and especially as a defense, we're flying to the football. We know our responsibility. We know where guys going to fit. And we just, it takes some time for us to get together, and we had to put all this together in one quick, fast, in a hurry. So now, like I said, we're more mature. We know what we're doing, and we're ready to play.
Guys got to start keeping faith and believing that what we did before the bye week, we only can get better at it. And so if guys take that mentality into this game, then there's no reason that we shouldn't win this game and fulfill our destiny, and that's hopefully get that championship. To do it for the guys that we've been, sweating and bleeding together, and, to make history, just to go down as the first team to win the championship, I mean, that'll be a great accomplishment, along with, when I scored the first touchdown. That's something that can't be taken away, but it'd just be a great feeling just to get to that game, and just a great sense of accomplishment, and it'd be just personally for everybody to see how quickly we were able to put a team together and put a championship team together at that.
And also kind of rebuild a team about like that. Within 1 week apart, they rebuilt a lot of this team.
And they realize, too, that they have to win 2 games. They have to win this game tonight and the game next week. They know that.
Meanwhile, Vegas knows they win tonight, they're going to the championship game, and they talk about it.
With a victory here, we pretty much put ourselves in a championship game. If with the loss, it's anybody's call. So, it's a lot better to be in the driver's seat. So go out and get a victory and go ahead and seal it for ourselves.
I think this is what guys look forward to playing in games like this, the anticipation and knowing they have the chance to play in a championship game and control their own destiny. So it's big to me.
So, there's a lot on the table here, and basically, we played each other one time. We practiced against each other a couple times. We see each other in the streets, living close to each other. Everybody knows what to expect. It's going to be, a big game. Expect a lot of fireworks.
We know what's going to happen is the intensity is definitely going to pick up, because both teams know what's at stake here. We're in this league to play games, to have fun, but at the same time, it's competition. Everyone wants to be in that championship game, regardless of what level it is.
Plus, we want to keep our offense going. We want to keep the defense going, our rhythm as a team going. So we want to come out and play extremely well and get the victory and get the W, and then go flying high, into the last week of the season, and then into that rematch again with Florida as far as the championship game goes.
So I'm anticipating this. Hopefully, playing the championship here and win, get a ring, and then catch up with a playoff team in the National Football League, get 2 rings within a 6-month time period. That'd be great.
Now that's ambition, and it's great to hear all these guys, how excited they are. Any level, Paul, you've been in the championship games. You've won the rings. To have a shot at winning a ring anywhere is special.
I go back, and when I was 10 years old and we played for a championship, I can remember that far back. And, folks, I can remember that far back. These guys know what it's like to play in a championship game.
All right, the home team getting ready to come on the field. We're getting ready to kick it off. Thank you for being with the pregame show. A playoff berth is on the line tonight when we come back live to San Jose with the Redwoods hosting the Locomotives.
The following is an exclusive high-definition presentation of the UFL on HDNet.
It's exciting. I'm looking forward to this game. The whole league's been exciting.
Well, I think our guys really, they want to win this game. I mean, there's two things. Number one, if you want to be in the championship game, we have to win this week. If we don't win this week, we do not get in the championship game.
The UFL has revived the pioneering spirit in pro football. From San Francisco, we point the way to the other home of the Redwoods, to San Jose. And the way to a playoff berth runs through Spartan Stadium tonight. The California Redwoods host the Las Vegas Locomotives. Good evening, everyone. Kenny Rice and Paul McGuire. Glad that you could be with us here on HDNet for what we think is the biggest game of the year. It is the 5th regular season game for both, but it is basically a playoff game here tonight.
It is, and if Las Vegas wins, they go to the championship game in a couple of weeks. And if California wins, they still have hopes of being in the championship game. This is going to be a tough matchup because both of these teams, I think, are equal.
And we talked to Jim Fossil and Denny Green yesterday. They have that excitement that you would expect when you know there's still a chance to stay in the hunt. Florida, of course, 2 weeks ago wrapped up the bid to make it to the championship game. California and Las Vegas, one of those teams, will be playing against them. We're also going to see two of the top offensive players in the league tonight. It's J.P. Lossman, who is just having a terrific season as the number 2 quarterback overall in the league. He has led Las Vegas to this position.
It took him 4 weeks to get it, but I think he just about has it. J.P. Lossman's got to realize one thing. He does not have to carry this team on his shoulders. He's got other receivers, other players that he can throw the ball to, and guys that can run the ball. So if he just calms down and plays the kind of game that Fossil thinks he can play, J.P. Lossman will be fine. But if he tries to take this whole thing, he won't be fine.
You see the cannon of an arm he has. We saw that in Florida 2 weeks ago when he scored 60 yards on that flea flicker. And, Paul, we talked about it. He's coming off his most impressive game. It was last week against New York.
And he settled down, and that is the most important thing. He's got his confidence back. He looks good. And Fossil said this is one guy that he knows that can go right back to the National Football League.
The leading rusher in the league on display tonight as well, Corey Ross of California. He has been their workhorse from the get-go.
Well, Corey Ross, in the very first game that these two teams played, it was the first game of the season, Corey Ross did not play the second half. But since then, he is the number 1 rusher in the UFL. This young man is legitimate. Not only can he run with the football, not only can he block, but he can catch the football. And the thing about it is tonight that Corey Ross has to find some friends. He really has to find somebody else to do it. You take a look at him, he catches a pass, now he becomes a running back. This guy is legitimately good, and I just hope that they can find someone else to throw the ball to.
Shane Boyd on the left lost his starting job in week 2, is back at quarterback, has been for the last couple of weeks, and you see Lossman on the right. These guys trying to lead their team to a playoff berth. We'll have the kickoff, Las Vegas, California, when we come back.
Welcome back to the UFL on HDNet.
Great night for football here in San Jose, California. You're watching the UFL on HDNet as we get ready to kick off what in essence is a playoff game. If Las Vegas wins, they go, as you see, Josh Scobie back awaiting the kickoff for them. If California wins, they are still very much in the hunt to make it to the title game. Parker Douglas tees it up, and we are about ready to begin. And the game is underway. Bouncing kick that Scobie has trouble with. Goes back, picks it up at the 4. Some room and gets near the 20. And now J.P. Lossman goes to work for the first time tonight, the second leading quarterback in the UFL. And you see especially that ratio of 8 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions.
I just like what Lossman has done since the first 3 games. The last time he played very well.
Ship will start in the backfield. We'll wait and see about Dede Dorsey. More on that later. Ship takes it over on the left side and finds room up to the 30-yard line, close to a first down. As we take a look at the offense now for the Locos of Las Vegas with Capizzi, Davis, Boone, Bibla, and Parkett. They have become a pretty good unit, especially with pass protection. Of course, we talked about Lossman. He has in Bergen one of the top tight end receivers. And he also has in Thurman and Kirkus 2 guys that can go and get the ball about anywhere. Ship, we just saw him carry, and Barthel is a great blocking back at fullback. He picked up their first down. Pressure on Lossman, gets it away, gets it complete to Thurman. And now we'll set the defense. And it's a defense that has been shifted around some. Chris Cooper is second in the league with 2.5 sacks. And in the linebacking core, Dontarius Thomas leads the team in tackles. Ezekiel and Crum have been playing very well. In the secondary, certainly will be tested tonight as you take a look at Patrick and Prude back there, and Robert Herbert, who they have loved from day one since arriving in the California camp. And here it is, 2nd and 4. They will stay on the ground, go right up the middle, and pick up another first down.
When you were talking about California's defense, the one thing that sticks out more than anything else, they only have, this team, in 4 games, they have 1 interception. And the only problem is the guy that has it, Underwood, is no longer with the team. So they actually do not have 1 guy on the field that's had an interception in the UFL.
Scobie is coming in the lineup now in the backfield for the first time for Las Vegas on 1st and 10. Under pressure and going down is Lossman. They get to him for the first time tonight.
Well, the problem is you're asking Dede Dorsey, who is a running back, to block a linebacker on the outside. Watch Dede Dorsey. Here comes Thomas. Dede Dorsey is number 27. He tries to block a linebacker, which he doesn't do, and Lossman, that's his backside. He gets blindsided.
And Dominic Patrick coming in as well, and Dontarius Thomas, they'll share that sack. A loss of 9, 2nd and 19. Ball goes back to the 32. Throwing complete to Madsen. Madsen, the backup tight end, that is just his 3rd catch of the year. One of those against Florida 2 weeks ago went for a touchdown.
What that tells you is that J.P. Lossman is now looking over the field. He's getting comfortable in a position. He has thrown the ball to 3 different people so far, and that is really good because he's now not trying to just find one receiver and going to him all the time. He's spreading the ball around.
He has 5 receivers in the top 10 in the league, 4 of those with double-digit catches on 3rd and 17. Good protection this time. Stepping up, throwing down the right side, and getting turned around was Adam Bergen, who is sure-handed when they can get it to him.
The one thing Lossman should have done on this play really is run with the football. Watch him when he comes up the middle. There's nobody there. The closest guy is a defensive back, and that's Harrison, 27. He throws the ball into double coverage, which he didn't have to do.
Danny Bauer will kick it away. B.J. Sams is back and gets it and goes down just about on the spot. Great special teams coverage by Las Vegas. So now the Redwoods get their chance on offense when we come back. A playoff atmosphere tonight here in San Jose for the California Redwoods. They have to win this game to stay in the playoff hunt. If the visiting Locos from Las Vegas win, they go on. And now Shane Boyd and the Redwoods come on the attack for the first time. Boyd to pass, under pressure and going down on the spot. As we take a look at the offense, Llewellyn has become the man that sort of sets the tone for them at left tackle. You see Edwards, Mabry, Ross, and Williams. Of course, Boyd in the backfield. We just saw the sack. He has in Joe West, a man who leads the team in yardage receiving. Nate Lowry is tied for receptions along with Sonny Shackelford. And now on 2nd and 14 after that loss of 4. On the ground, Ross up the middle. And Turnbull comes in to make the tackle as we look at the front line. Owasso had a great game. The first time these teams met, Kalaji has experience. Bryant and Henderson each with a tackle apiece, a sack apiece. Lehman leads the league in tackles. And then you see the backfield, the defensive backfield, including the veteran Tony Parrish. Turnbull just making the tackle there. It's 3rd and 9 at the 29. Shackelford in motion. Boyd complete. Little crossing pattern. And he hits Shackelford on that, but it won't be enough for a first down.
I'm sorry, but you just watch so much football and you realize that, Boyd, you can't throw this pass. This is a 2-yard pass. You've got to pick up 8, so you got to get the ball downfield. There's triple coverage on this guy, and you've got the middle linebacker, Lehman, who is the leading tackler in the league. You throw the ball right in front of him, and he makes a tackle. You've got to get the ball down the field.
Adam Grassel will punt for the first time. Parker is back. He will move and let it roll, and it'll go out just inside the 20. So for the second time now, Las Vegas will go on offense. When we come back, no score in California. No score. Las Vegas getting ready to go on the attack for the second time. Let's go down the sideline to Ron Kruk. Ron?
Hey guys, the last time we saw Vegas running back D.D. Dorsey on HDNet, he ran all over the Florida Tusker defense on his way for a UFL record-setting 139 yards rushing. However, late in that game, he bruised a bone in his foot and had to sit out last week against New York. That's why we're going to see both Dorsey tonight, he is playing, and Marcel Shipp, who did a great job of filling in for him last week. He rushed for 34 yards and 2 touchdowns. Both guys will see action tonight. Kenny?
And thanks, Ron. There is D.D. Dorsey. Not only is he leading the team in rushing, he's one of their top receivers. In and out of the hands of Tab Berry.
I tell you, when you are a quarterback, and you throw a ball out there to Tab Berry, I mean, watch this ball. Look where it hits him. Look at the ball. He's looking at the defensive back where he's going to get hit. You're going to get hit, son. Just catch it, then get hit.
Those were the big footsteps of Robert Herbert, one of the best corners in the league, on 2nd and 10. Empty backfield for Lossman.
Oh, get that.
Rolling, throwing, has the completion, gets the first down, and then a little more on top of it. And a nice play by J.P. Lossman as he finds one of his top receivers in Sammy Parker. Parker's 10th catch of the season.
You know, what a great play by the offensive line. Lossman has nobody even near him. Now you're going to see Parker come back to the ball. I mean, there's no place for him to go except back to Lossman. But Lossman had all day to throw the ball.
Parker, Bergen, Kirkus, 3 guys along with Dorsey who have double-figure receiving yards this year, and right up the middle with it again is D.D. Dorsey. Dorsey's been averaging, Paul, an amazing 8.5 yards per carry. He usually has some big breakaways. Whenever he catches it, he is that one guy of maybe 2 or 3 guys actually in the league that can break it for long yardage.
Well, he put a show on for us the last time we did it. I mean, really impressed with this guy.
Off the fingertips, trying to get the first down, and once again, it is Tab Perry who can't bring it in. Had to stretch on that, couldn't get it.
Well, as a quarterback, I'm only going to give you 3 tries. You've dropped it twice. Now, this ball was a little wide. Perry just a short back to the outside. But you got to be prepared to catch the football. Again, the ball hits him in the hands. You got to make that turn quicker because it comes out in a hurry. The passes so far have been fine, except one. There's only been one bad pass that I think Lossman has thrown, and that was on that 3rd and long situation.
Here it is, 3rd and 5 for Vegas. Now Lossman's having to run. Leaning forward, and he's going to stretch and get the first down J.P. Lossman, nice move there with nowhere to go.
For some of you that for the first time you're watching the UFL, let me explain something about the quarterback situation. You see Lossman now, he's going to run with the football. They can throw the ball away in this league, and you can throw it as long as you get it back to the line of scrimmage. That time, Lossman saw the hole, saw where the first down was, did the smart thing and picked it up. But you are allowed to throw the ball away as long as you get it back to the line of scrimmage.
First and 10, they'll stay on the ground and not get anything. Losing yards that time. Maurice Crum shooting through to bring Dorsey down, and a loss of a couple.
It looked like Maurice Crum knew the play. Number 55 is Maurice Crum. Watch this. He just comes inside. Nobody really touched him. It looked like he knew exactly where the play was going. He knew the exact snap count and made the tackle for a loss.
2nd and 12 at the 44. Quick pass to the side, gets the completion. And Thomas is right there to make the tackle and bring down John Madsen, who has 2 catches, which has doubled his total for the season.
Well, we're seeing a formation now from Las Vegas. They're going double tight end and 2 wides, one on each side. So now that Lossman has, now they're taking one of the tight ends out. They're taking Madsen out, who just caught the pass, but they were going with 2 tight ends.
He goes out. Kirkus comes back in for Vegas on 3rd and 8. Kirkus has been their go-to guy in these situations at the top of the screen. Parker in motion. Lossman throwing, complete, first down. Gunning it right over the middle, and Lossman put it on the numbers, and Sammy Parker was there to haul in his 2nd catch.
Boy, this is a great throw by Lossman. Just take a look at Lossman. He's holding his left pinky. I've got one that looks just like that, but it's on the right-hand side. And it looked like he might have broken it.
16 on that. This is not for the faint-hearted, as Lossman has some work done. And it's especially not if you have a really good, big, high-definition set.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it hurts. But once it goes back in,
relief.
Oh, man, it really feels good. I'm not kidding you. I'm not trying to be funny.
No, it does.
It pops out, and when you pop it right in, look at, here's Lossman now. It's on his left. It's on his left hand.
That's
now
when he ran for the first down. Yeah, how did that happen?
Yeah, that thing isn't pointing the way it's supposed to. The other ones are going straight out, and that one's going a little bit to the left.
Which can be an entertaining party trick, but it can be aggravating in the course of a game. Tim Rattay warming up. Hasn't played that much this season.
Well, Tim Rattay and Michna, who the other 2 quarterbacks, neither one of them have a completion.
Ship in the backfield on 1st and 10. And Marcel will get the carry, and he is brought down and thrown back. And we talked about an active front line that is getting more active. There's Paul Carrington from the defensive end position making the tackle.
When you look at this defense and you talk about Ship now, he's running to his right. Look at where Ship is. Here's where the hole is, right in the middle. But he's going to go all the way back against the defense where all the pursuit is. So he runs into 4 green shirts.
2nd and 11 at the 31. Dorsey comes to the backfield once more. And Dede will carry. And force about 4 yards out of that as Thomas is there along with Cochran to bring him down.
Well, now, Capizzi, who's the left tackle, got into a little scuffle with Jason Parker, number 90 of the defense for California. And those 2 guys got locked up. And I tell you, Capizzi wasn't happy. Now they're going to line up on each other.
Dorsey with that huge game that moved him right up to the number 2 rusher behind Ross in the league. And here it is, 3rd and 6. At the 32. side handoff. Dorsey fools no one. He goes down for a loss of 2 on the play. And that will bring up a 4th down. And Roderick Green, one of the newer members of this team, has juggled back and forth in Green and Shable, 2 guys we expect to see quite a bit of tonight. He makes the hit. So it's 4th and 7, and Gano is on the field to attempt a field goal, which is in the range of Graham Gano. 6 for 7 on the season, has a long of 53. This would be 51. It's got the distance, but just off to the right. The 2nd miss of the year for Graham Gano.
Now, we talked about this in the opening and also in the pregame show about how equal these 2 teams are.
It's a different situation right now. Big lead for California early. Last time, these teams are deadlocked at 0. It's almost there. And Pop Warner football coming up at halftime here in San Jose. Look at those guys. They're fired up.
I'm wearing 50. Not a way to go, 55.
That's a Paul McGuire fan right there.
Look at that red hair on that guy. How about that? That's old Paul McGuire.
That looks like Paul McGuire. It's a flashback.
Coming back as a Pop Warner guy.
If that kid goes at halftime and nails a punt to the coffin corner, we may see Rod Serling step out. There's Lossman still working on that left pinky. It was bent back and no doubt is a little sore. Maybe even smarting more. He's had a couple of passes dropped and a couple of drives killed.
That's what hurts more, the drop passes, not the pinky.
California going on the attack for the 2nd time. Ross takes a handoff up the middle, some room. Ross across midfield, he's to the 30. 1 man, 2 men trying to catch him inside the 10. Ross goes out at the 8. That is the danger of Corey Ross in open field.
The leading rusher in the UFL. Now, you got to see when this guy hits the hole. He is full speed. As soon as he gets the ball from Boyd, watch. He's full speed now. And you're not going to run up and tackle him. I'm telling you, this guy has got just great quickness. Now, he gets caught because of the angle. He does get caught by Porter. But I'll tell you what, that is what you call hitting a hole. That's why this guy is so good as a runner.
53 yards on the carry for Corey Ross as John David Washington now comes in the backfield. Ross gets a breather on 1st and goal, ball down to the 6. They'll go over the left side and get about 2 with Washington carrying.
You know, normally it does in a game. Ross is coming back in. Washington had his 1 carry. Ross is now rejuvenated. But, you know, it does set up the pass. And the problem with this football team is that this football team, California, they really don't have the great receivers.
2nd and goal at the 4. Ledbetter back in at tight end as well. Ross the lone setback. Ross up the middle, touchdown. Corey Ross finishes off what he started, a 53-yard run to get him in that position, and then a 4-yard burst up the middle, and California's on the board first.
Kenny, did you see the move? Watch the move he makes. He's going to go a little bit to his right. Now watch. Bang, he's back to the left. He sees the hole. He's in the end zone. You talk about reading a hole. You got a chance to see what he saw.
Beautiful run by Ross. His 4th touchdown of the season. And Parker will attempt the extra point. 7-0. California. Corey Ross doing all the work on this one and then finishing it off. The leading rusher has his team in the lead.
And welcome back to San Jose, where California gets on the board. First rushing touchdown by Corey Ross, who leads the UFL in rushing yards. Corey, tell me about the read of play. Man, you found that open hole.
Oh, yeah, we've been running it all week long, so it was just simple. I just got to make sure I went through my reads first. pressed the line of scrimmage and hit the hole, and offense did a great job, man. Opened it up, and it was sweet. You know, I just all she wrote from there.
Okay, you scored the very first touchdown ever in the UFL, and you told me a few days ago that you wanted to make sure your team was playing the championship. What has to happen?
We just got to keep playing hard, you know. Defense is always doing a great job, so as long as they keep doing a great job and we keep moving the ball as an offense, we should be able to win this game.
Well, let's get back to the game, guys.
All right, thanks, Natalie. Ross on that last possession with the 53-yard run to get them down into the 1st and goal situation. 3 carries, 61 yards already for Ross in this game. Josh Scobie stands back for Las Vegas, and he awaits the kick of Parker Douglas. Scobie at the 6. Trying to find some room and being run down and brought down by Gabriel, the receiver, Doug Gabriel, on the special teams. Let's check in now with Ron. Ron, what's going on?
Well, Kenny, quick injury update. As you can see, J.P. Lossman is coming back in. You were right. The trainers were working on his left pinky. They taped it up, and he said to me he was just fine. Didn't seem to be in too much pain on the sidelines, but that's easy for me to say holding a microphone. Kenny, back upstairs.
Well, the only thing that's going to affect him is the snap of the ball being underneath the center, and that ball pops up. So that's the pain that he's going to have to deal with. It's just that initial pain every time that ball hits that hand.
The pitch to Dorsey on the 1st down. He gets maybe a yard trying to go over on the right side. Lossman 5 for 8, 42 yards right now.
Well, we know one thing: California can run, and Las Vegas so far can't. So
surprising, and you wonder, Dorsey's playing. His foot bothered him enough. He set out last week. How strong is he? Certainly he's playing. On 2nd and 8 at the 21, play fake. Lossman unloading and almost picked up. Robert Herbert, number 31, in on the coverage, and it was off his hands, not that of the intended receiver.
First of all, I wouldn't really want to throw against Robert Herbert, number 31. He is the best corner, I think, in the UFL. But the worst part about this throw is that Lossman throws this ball, and there are going to be 3 green shirts. Count them. 1, 2 there, and 1 coming in from the left-hand side. There was just no way to get that ball in.
The one in the white and blue, by the way, he was intended for was Andre Thurman, barely in the picture with all the redwoods around him on 3rd and 8 at the 21. And our first flag of the game. John Bible, the referee tonight.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And that's on Thurman.
Well, Thurman came down in motion, and then he just turned up a little bit too soon. A little bit too soon? That means way too soon. Even a little bit is way too soon.
It moves it back to the 16 on 3rd and 13. Vegas last week, first play from scrimmage against New York, they tried the flea flicker. We saw them work it to perfection down in Florida. We expect some things up the sleeve. We haven't seen it so far. Probably don't expect to see it in this kind of situation, certainly, as Lossman goes back deep. Drop has room and throws intended for Thurman out of bounds, and it brings up 4th down. So 3 and out for Lossman and crew in their 3rd offensive series.
Patience, young man. Just be patient. You had Thurman open on the outside. All you have to do is deliver the ball. He wound up and threw the ball as hard as he possibly could. And the worst part about it is he had time to throw the ball. There was no pressure on him.
This should be good field position for California as well. Bauer kicking back near the goal line. Sam's awaiting the kick at about the 40. Takes a couple of steps back, and there he has it. And brought down almost on the spot. Beautiful coverage by Las Vegas for the 2nd time. Moore is the one that shoots down to make the tackle. Brandon Moore, the linebacker, who came into this game as the 6th leading tackler in the league. And there is a flag on the play. $47 yards on that punt by Danny Bauer, which is about 6 above his average.
And the nice part about it was the hang
Illegal
time.
block in the back, 96 on the return team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
If we're going to see right here, here's the block in the back. Your guy's going down. That guy's not even there to make the tackle. I mean, that was Riley, number 57, who got blocked. I'd like to see what Brandon Moore is down there on the punt coverage, and he's a starting linebacker. Don't you love it?
We see at the other end, Gabriel, a wide receiver who we expect to see more action, also down on the coverage for Las Vegas. Ross in the backfield. He is the workhorse. And time to ride him one more time. Nice little sidestep, still going up across the 30, and he's pushed out at around the 32. So there's the little sidestep that leads Corey Ross to picking up positive yardage. Let's check in again with Natalie on the sideline.
Well, speaking of Corey Ross and that last rushing TD, he came off the field, took his glove off his left hand. Trainer took a look at it, thinks he possibly bruised it. Corey kept wiggling his fingers in between plays, but as of right now, it's nothing they're too concerned about.
All right, Natalie, it's 2nd and 5 up to the 32. It's been a long time between passes for Shane Boyd. And a whistle as John David Washington in the lineup gets the handoff. A flag, though, before the play.
Snap, false start, 77 offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
That's on the left end, Llewellyn. We talked about him earlier. We've been talking about him since the second week of the season when we did our first California game about how much he has impressed Dennis Green and staff.
Well, he's right up here on the top, and you see he moves first, and that, you know, when that happens, they're on top of this thing. But I'll tell you what I'm really surprised at is Gabriel, number 10, is down here on the bottom, man-to-man coverage by Wally Dada. Now they're moving a safety over, but he's still got man-to-man coverage. There's Gabriel.
And there's Gabriel making the catch. Now they all find him as he gets up close to the first down. The first catch of the night for Doug Gabriel, his 8th overall. He was one of those guys they brought in the second week of the season when they needed some new blood in there, and Gabriel was one of the guys leading the way. Into the first quarter, 7-0, California with the lead. They have to win to stay in the playoff hunt. Second quarter coming up. Ready to start the second quarter. Home team California leading at 7-0. We talked about J.P. Lossman's finger, his pinky finger on his left hand earlier. Here now is the, there it is. That's the official pinky finger on Paul McGuire's right hand.
Well, let me tell you something. I'm still announcing, huh? So he can play.
Don't try that at home, please.
Well, that's it.
I bet it entertains the grandkids, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. They like to jump on it. Oh, I mean, that thing still hurts.
And what game was that, or a series of games?
Just right after World War II.
3rd and 1 at the 26 for California. Shane Boyd, 2 for 2, just completing a pass to Gabriel. They'll keep it on the ground and get the first down.
You know, I just really like the game plan of California. Not only offensively, I mean, the game plan offensively is give the ball to Corey Ross, number 20, and I'll throw when I have to throw. All right, he wants to hurry up. You're looking at Shane Boyd looking at he said, give me the play, I want to get moving. But I love the way their defense is playing. California has really done a great job against Las Vegas's offense.
Boyd on that carry, and he's a guy that certainly can run. He has 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown. On 1st and 10, they go to Ross, bounces outside, hit and brought down after picking up about 3. And once again, every time Ross gets it, there's always the chance, and Moore is there to bring him down.
You know, Kenny, he makes you look so foolish. When you watch him, watch. Here's a step to the left, another's back to the right. Now watch it. Here's another move. I mean, he just, if you don't get him now, and if you don't commit yourself to him, you're not going to see him.
Ross 5 carries, 70 yards, 2nd and 7 at the 42. On to reverse. Here's Gabriel. Gabriel trying to find the corner, find some room, coming up short of the first down. And Doug Gabriel, we've seen him do the reverse before. That time it strung out just a little too much, it looked like.
I like what Gabriel's done. We saw him on a kickoff coverage. He made the tackle. We saw him catch a pass just a moment ago, and now we see him on a reverse coming around. And Gabriel, look, I mean, you could take the hit and go out of bounds. He doesn't. This guy's tough.
Nick Turnbull among those there helping rush him out of bounds, and it's 3rd and 3 at the 46. Ross the setback. Play fake. Boyd still has it. Rolling, looking, under pressure. Moving up, dumping it over the middle, and gets the first down. Nice play by Shane Boyd. Took his time and found his old University of Kentucky teammate, Glenn Holt, for the catch.
And this is all Boyd. Boyd could have thrown this ball earlier, and he also could have thrown this ball away. But watch Boyd. He avoids the tackler, he looks downfield, gets himself square, and he hits Holt for the first down.
That is the first catch of the season for Glenn Holt. Holt, who came in the second week during that mass transfer of this team. Washington now returns to the backfield. 1st and 10 for California. Fires it out quickly, complete. Again to Glenn Holt. He picks up about 3.
One thing that you and I talked about with Shane Boyd, we did the game, the second game of the year for these guys, when Denny Green just said, wait a minute, Boyd, I don't like what you're doing. I don't like the way you're playing quarterback. Let me put in Mike McMahon. We did the game. Mike McMahon looked pretty good in San Francisco up the road. Then the next game Mike McMahon played in, he threw 3 interceptions in the game right off the bat. He took him back out again. Boyd didn't sulk. He didn't pout. He came back, and you watching this guy play tonight, I just kind of like the attitude that he has.
2nd and 4 at the 43. That's Lowry moving over to the right. Boyd pumps. Now he keeps, gets the first down. Shane Boyd going straight up the middle on his 2nd carry. Stills makes the tackle.
Well, Shane Boyd right here, just take a look. He was going to throw this ball, but the coverage was to the outside. You talk about a great athletic move. He tucked that ball back in and then picked up the first down. That's heads-up football.
1st and 10 down to the 36 of Las Vegas. Dennis Green has to love this. He told us yesterday he likes his defense to be a little smaller and quicker. He likes the offense to be a little bigger and more powerful, and they're overpowering Las Vegas at this moment. Ross, again, a couple of yards. And you saw the hand smack. It was almost, it's always almost, Paul, as you talked about from the linemen as they get in and get just a little piece of Ross as he goes by.
Well, I'd say that, and also the right guard, Lentz, number 67, who is in at right guard now, pulled out and made an outstanding block right at the point of attack. You know, when you got a guy like Ross, now Ross is only 5'6", folks, 200 pounds. So it's really hard when the defensive guys are down in their stance, looking over linemen that are 6'5". It's hard to find Ross at first.
2nd and 6. Boyd complete. It's his tight end Lowry. Lowry does the rest inside the 25. Nate Lowry, his 7th catch of this season. The former starter for the Cincinnati Bengals.
I said at the beginning of this game, what has to happen in this ball game is that Corey Ross has got to find some friends. Well, they found him. Holt's caught 2 passes. Now you got Lowry that's caught 2 passes, and he's also thrown a ball to Doug Gabriel. So you talk about spreading the ball around. This is what Corey Ross does to the defense and for your offense.
Boyd is perfect, 5 for 5, 32 yards. 1st and 10 down to the 21-yard line. Ross is hit right at the line of scrimmage, one of the few times that Ross will not pick up any yardage.
You know, Ross does some dancing in the hole, and there are other plays where there are times when you should just follow your fullback. Ian Badejo, number 30, he makes a move to the right, and Ross doesn't stay with him. He goes back to the left where the defense is. Stay with your fullback just a little bit longer.
Pickup of 1, 2nd and 9 down to the 20. Pitch to Ross. And he gets to about the 20. Shooting in to bring him down was Nick Turnbull. Sliced him off there, and a nice tackle by Turnbull.
I'm sorry, but, you know, Tyler Llewellyn, number 77, pulls out on the run on this play, and there are 3 guys in white shirts, and he never hit anybody. just went down. I mean, it was it's a great thought, and it's a great play, but you got to hit. Here comes Llewellyn. Watch Llewellyn. Look at all the guys down there. Look at this. Bonk. you got to hit somebody.
That was a lot of moving to not pick up any. 3rd and 9, it remains at the 20. California 2 for 3 on 3rd downs. Boyd drops, throws, and it's incomplete. Trying to dump it to Ross coming out of the backfield, so it brings up 4th down for California.
Boy, and Ross is open too, and all you have to do is set your feet, Shane Boyd, and throw the ball.
Boyd, 5 for 5 up until then. And now Douglas Parker, who's 4 for 6 on the season along the 44, will attempt this 39-yard field goal. And it hits the right upright, no good. Drifting over to the right. We've seen both field goal attempts tonight from the respective teams just going over to the right side. So it remains 7-0. Great drive going for California, but they just miss on converting for 3. Back here in San Jose, where the home team Redwoods lead 7-0 over Las Vegas. Kenny Rice, Paul McGuire, Ron Kruk, Natalie Taylor on the sidelines. Coming in, here's the way it stood. They were both 2-2. If Las Vegas wins, they go to the championship game of the UFL. If California wins, they still have a chance. It'll go down to the last week of the season.
And that is because Las Vegas, in the very first game of the year against this California team, beat them.
And there's Dennis Green. What a job he's done getting this California team revived, although they just missed a field goal attempt. And now Las Vegas goes on the attack again, and Lossman comes out throwing, and for the 3rd time tonight, he has a pass that was right there dropped. First time that D.D. Dorsey has dropped it.
You know, it really is going to get frustrating. First of all, it's a 3rd pass, and then you get whacked by Parker, Jason Parker, number 90. So, you know, stuff is going to start getting old for this guy. I'm throwing the ball where you got to catch it. Catch it.
On top of that, he hurt his pinky. It was all twisted up. He does have a bandage a little bit, holding that together on his left side. So far, it hasn't affected his holding of the ball. Drops back, looking, now flush down the pocket. He's going to run, and he gets close to a 1st down. Nice run by Lossman, being chased down by Cochran from behind.
This will give you an idea about how tough Lossman is. Now here he goes up, and you know they're in coverage. There's only a 4-man rush, so now the linebackers are all off. And you see Lossman, he's going to take it up the field. Number 55 is Crum, who is the linebacker. He gives him a shot, but Lossman knew where the 1st down marker was. Didn't get to it, and also didn't slide.
Lossman with 9 on that. Ship returns to the backfield on 3rd and 1. Marcel Ship over on the left side, gets the 1st down, gets up across the 40 to about the 42. Liam Ezekiel in on the tackle.
You know, and you look at the defense of California, when you sit there in just a 4-man rush and you're backing your linebackers out of there, run the football, audible to a run. When they've got 7 and 8 in the box, that's when you throw the football.
This is the 4th series for Las Vegas. 7 minutes to go here in the 1st half. And very rare to see a goose egg still on the board for Las Vegas. To the air, going deep and overshooting his man going there for David Kirkus, his reliable receiver, but just too far out of reach.
This is exactly what I was just talking about. When they line up, they be in California with 7 and 8 in the box, and you're going to see they have 7 and 8 in the box. The 4 down linemen, take a look, there's a 4 down lineman here. The 2 linebackers are up, and the middle linebacker's up. And when they do that, Lossman audibilized and just threw the ball deep to the outside. The ball was overthrown, but that's where you want to get that defense into that kind of a situation. Go after it.
2nd and 10. Over the middle and off the fingertips, and a flag is thrown. That was Dorsey again out of the backfield. Dorsey has been one of the most reliable receivers so far this year as well.
We got holding against Las Vegas.
Holding, 79 on the offense, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And that's a center, Boone. The center number 79 is Boone, and you know, I don't think it was on Boone. I think it should have been on 53. Well, you know, they can get the wrong numbers. It's okay. At least they got a guy with the lineman.
2nd now and 20, back to the 32. In motion is Thurman. Whistle, another flag.
Neutral zone infraction, defense number 96. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
On Carrington, Paul Carrington.
Don't you love coaches when they plead their case? Okay, all right. They're moving. That's why my guy went off. Didn't agree. Doesn't fly, did he?
5 of 12 for Lossman. You see his last 4. He's had 3 dropped. And he's also overshot 2 guys that were wide open as well. So that's been the situation for Vegas. Still looking for a score with just over 6.5 to go in the first half. In motion again is Thurman. 2nd and 15. Lossman dumps it off. He's going to get close to the first down with Kirkus. Kirkus with a little sidestep and does get forward to get it before Harrison's there to bring him down. That's David Kirkus, who leads the team with 17 receptions, hauling in his first.
David Kirkus comes underneath. You're going to see number 8. He's going to come underneath the defense. The defense is dropping off. They got like a 4-man rush, and here comes Kirkus to the outside. Really nobody's there. Now, that was Robert Herbert, number 31, who's the corner. He was late covering him, got tied up in traffic, and then just Kirkus comes across the middle. Take a look. That's just a neat throw, and that's Lossman picking out the right guy.
1st and 10, 46. They'll go right back to the ground, straight up the middle, and find very little room there. And then you see him piling up on Josh Scobie, who gets the call. Well, and they continue to pile up a little bit. A few words exchanged, perhaps.
Well, Ron and Natalie both said there were no fights over in Arizona.
They saved them for here.
They saved them for right here.
Now it matters.
And now we're going to just whack each other a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of talking, but now it matters. 2nd and 8 at the 44 after they get them calmed down momentarily.
Yeah, you're always friends until they blow it up and kick it off. And once they do that, you have no friends.
Lossman again. And again, a dropped pass. Oh, and you wonder what's going through J.P. Lossman's mind now. That was Norton, the 3rd string tight end. It was there, and then it wasn't, and that's 4 that have been in and out of the hands of receivers here in the first half.
The only encouraging thing about all this, just saying Norton is the guy that's going to drop the ball. But look at the guys that are open. He is putting the ball in the place that it has to be put. So he's throwing the ball well. They're just not catching it now. He just can't get mad and go away from it. These guys are getting open.
3rd and 8 at the 44. Open. Quick throw, has his man in Adam Bergen. And Bergen is going to be close and has the first down.
When I saw Bergen open, I mean, Lossman has got a lot of choices to make. All he has to do was the thing Fossil told us weeks ago. Just be patient, young man. It's going to open up for you. Your offensive line, they're blocking really well for you. Settle down, relax, let it come to you.
1st and 10 after picking up a dozen, with Bergen hauling in his 15th catch of the season, one of the top receivers in the league. They'll keep it on the ground, go right up the middle with Ship. Marcel Ship picks up a couple. Ship had that great game last week when he was relied on more than ever with Dorsey sitting out, and he responded with 2 touchdowns against New York.
When you look at Vegas's offense, especially tonight, it's like, okay, we'll run the ball just to keep you honest. But what we're really going to do is we're going to throw it at you.
2nd and 8 down to the 33. Thurman in motion. Ship gets the corner to the 20, inside the 20, forced out around the 18. Marcel Ship with his best run of the night. Harrison there to force him out.
And Kenny, that is the very first time tonight, and we're, less than 3.5 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. But that's the first time tonight that they've run wide. They got to the outside. And what happened is that the corner, Prude, and the linebacker on the outside did not get wide enough. Just an excellent call.
Ship now 8 carries, 37 yards. 1st and 10 down to the 17. And movement and a flag before that play. I mean, there's no doubt about movement when you hear that kind of collision.
Encroachment,
No
defense number 94. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
I would say encroachment actually here might be an understatement for H.E. Shable.
Yeah, well, that's Shable, and he's pushing Davis, Frank Davis, number 53. Davis, he's backing up. If you're going to go across, you might as well hit somebody.
1st and 5 down to the 12. This is the closest Vegas has been. Will they be able to capitalize and tie this score with just over 2 minutes to go here in the 1st half? They go right up the middle and get a couple of more yards, and they stay with Ship.
That Ship is staying on its course. What?
Well, he sailed along for 37 yards so far.
I should have never opened that can.
You knew, I knew you would.
I shouldn't have. There's no, once you get started with that.
Well, Vegas certainly is hoping they can get started with that, as Dorsey has been in and out of the lineup. Again, moving there is Thurman. On 2nd and 3 at the 10. They'll go to Ship again. Ball is loose on the ground. Did they keep it? I think Vegas got it back. Saw Liam Ezekiel come ripping it out of there, but Ship got twisted around and looked like he'd fallen back on the ball. And again, a few things exchanged down there as well. Is Earl Cochran, number 98, getting in on it. Let's take another look, Paul.
Ship is going right up the middle. He's going to get nailed.
That's the 2-minute warning.
That's Cochran, number 98, is the guy that makes the strip on the ball, but Ship gets it back.
Vegas has it. They're threatening as we come to the 2-minute warning in the 1st half. Well played, 61 yards in this drive for Las Vegas, threatening seriously for the first time in this game at the 2-minute mark of the 2nd quarter, trailing California 7-0. It is now 3rd and 3 at the 10.
If they get to the 7 and get a 1st down.
Dorsey returns to the backfield. Lossman swings it out to Dorsey, and Dorsey is met and brought down almost on the spot by Maurice Crum.
I'm going to tell you, folks, this is a great play by a linebacker, an outside linebacker, number 55. Watch him set up Dorsey. He gets him squared up, and that's exactly what you have to do. Didn't let Dorsey make any kind of move, and Crum is just right there. This is the toughest coverage for a linebacker. He's one-on-one on the running back. Dorsey's, as we know, has great moves, and I'll tell you, Crum makes a great play.
Graham Gano, who has missed once, will come in for a 35-yard attempt. the hold of the punter, Bauer. Game clock ticking down. The play clock went to 0.
Timeout, Las Vegas. That's
But Vegas got the timeout before. Las Vegas, we think, will attempt a field goal attempt when we come back. California leading 7-0. Florida, the only team to shut out Las Vegas in the first half. California trying to do so as it's a 4th and 10 at the 11, and a field goal attempt coming up by Graham Gano. 0 for 1. He's 6 for 8 on the year. This one from 35. Out of the hold of Bauer, the punter. And this one is there. So Gano, the former Lou Groza winner from Florida State, puts Las Vegas on the board. 1 minute to go in the first half. 7-0, 7-3 now, California. Finding it out in this quarter, each team with 1 possession, and the Locos on a 35-yard field goal a moment ago by that man, Graham Gano, got on the board finally after 14 plays and 54 yards. It took almost 7.5 minutes. B.J. Sams awaits the kick. California leading it 7-3.
This second quarter has been a classic example of ball control. It really has. It's unbelievable.
This is it. Long drive for California that ended with a missed field goal. Long drive for Vegas where they got their field goal. And Vegas avoids being shut out for only the second time in the first half. Good kick deep. Sams will take the knee, and California will start at the 20 with a minute to go here in the first half. You're watching the United Football League on HD Nets. California is leading at 7-3 before the home folks as they will begin this drive at their own 20. 1 minute to go here in the first half.
You know, it's not 7-3, but I'm telling you, to me, a great defensive half for both teams.
Appropriate that we be here at Spartan Stadium.
You're going to tell
the scoring's been that way. Ross in the backfield once again. Shane Boyd will swing it out to him, and wow, is he hit and hammered as he was trying to get away, and that was Sapay that reached out with that big mid of his and knocked him backwards.
This is what you call Sapay making you pay. Watch Sapay. Watch this little hand shot right here. Bang. Right in the neck.
Back to action. A completion out to West. Joe West hauling in his first pass. 32 seconds to go here in the first half.
Joe West got his shot in. I mean, don't you love it? I love it. It's a very good defensive football game.
32 seconds to go. The Redwoods have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Flip to Ross. Little stutter step. Gets about 2 more yards afterward before being brought down from behind. And there you see the timeout taken by California, their first one.
30-second timeout.
You know, you love this because knows if they lose this game, they don't go to the championship. There's no chance. I mean, I just like what they're doing, but we're going to show you Sapay again, who is number 97 for Las Vegas. It'll come right about now. Bonk. I mean, he almost had to throw his arm at his waist because
his arm is about as tall as Corey Ross is.
Yeah.
When you look at Sapay, Lavelle Sapay, who grew up in Hawaii, of course, was a star at Utah, played some with the Bills and the Raiders. Now it's 1st and 10 at the 33.
You can't whack him in the helmet, but you can hit him in the neck.
And indeed he did. 4 receivers out here for Boyd. Hasn't thrown many long passes. Fires this one out, gets his completion. And Shackelford has it. Does not get out of bounds, though, and we have a flag.
There was a flag thrown outside of the playing field.
That's the second timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Well, Shackelford can't get out of bounds, and so California has to use their second timeout.
Well, I don't understand why he just didn't go out of bounds anyway. I mean, you just go.
Offside, 96 on the defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
I knew there was a flag.
Defensive penalty, and by the way, what a nice play by Wally Dada to keep Shackelford from going out of bounds. He just spun him around and said, stay right here, and forced California to use their second timeout. So they have a timeout left, 15 seconds to go in the first half. They're leading 7-3, and they have the ball thrown 38.
And the coaches will talk to Shackelford at halftime and say, listen, we'll just get out of bounds. You know, you're not going to go anywhere. You're going back into the to the total defense, so just get out of bounds. Take it, save us a timeout.
They need about 30 yards to start thinking about a field goal anyway here. And Boyd, under pressure, brought down, ball is loose. And a nice hustling play by West coming back to scoop up the fumble.
Well, you talk about something, it's going right to the half. That's the end of the first half, but I'll tell you what, that was close.
Boyd hit, West picks it up, and the first half comes to an end. California taking a lead into the locker room. Let's go down to Ron.
Coach Fossil, your offense scored 41 points last week, managed only a field goal so far. Talk about their play.
Well, we're not playing very well. We've dropped balls, missed some assignments, had some penalties. I mean, but you got to give California credit, too. They're playing really good on defense. We just got to calm down here a little bit. We're missing too many passes and just not hitting on all cylinders. But the way we played, it's 7-3. We just can get better.
Defense playing well. What is the message at halftime to your team?
Well, I mean, tell them we're behind 7-3. I mean, this is a tight ball game, and we haven't played well. We expect to play better.
Very good. Thanks, Coach. Kenny, back upstairs.
All right, thanks, Ron. And I think most people would be surprised to see only 3 points on the board from this Las Vegas team.
Yeah, they just have too many weapons to be sitting back. But the thing about it is, Coach Fossil said it, hey, we are just dropping too many balls. There had to be at least 5 drops in that first half. And, you know, you just can't do that. When your quarterback, he's not struggling. Lossman is not struggling. He's putting the ball where it needs to be put.
Right now, it's 7-3. California in the lead. Some close calls, some pressure, some great defense. California in a must-win situation. So far, so good for them. At halftime, California leads 7-3 over Las Vegas here in the United Football League. And welcome back to our halftime report here from San Jose and Spartan Stadium. Kenny Rice along with Paul McGuire. Quite simple coming into this game. It's the 5th regular season game. They only play 6, so in essence, this is a playoff. As we said, Paul, Las Vegas wins, they go to the championship. But California, if they hold on and win this game, we get into several scenarios. We know it comes down to the last week of the season to decide.
We'll explain it in overtime to you, but no. But I'll tell you what, you know, when you look at this football game, we talked about it right at the beginning, how evenly matched these two teams are. We know Vegas can throw the ball. He's got a lot of weapons, Lossman has, to throw the ball to. Their only problem is they're dropping them all over the field, and that's what Fossil is really upset about. On the other hand, we already talked about Corey Ross. Ross is a leading rusher in the league. Now, here's a guy that has done everything that he's been asked to do. I still think that California, to win this ball game, they're going to have to put it in the air.
Ross so far has been the workhorse, as Paul said, including a big 53-yard run that got it down to a 1st-and-goal situation and led to the touchdown. As we listen in now to the California locker room.
Where he is and how tight they're playing you. All right, Joe? Can we get inside and run the special? When you release down inside, when you're going down to cut off, is he getting off of you? Yeah. All right.
Trying to stay on the side shoulder.
Is he trying to stay on your outside shoulder? If you can push him and get vertical on him and sit down and hold? All right. That play will be live too. We've got a couple ways to run the hide. We've got a couple ways to run a burner. I like play past 50 wheat, 288 special.
Yes,
Love
sir.
it. All right? There's nothing they can do. They can play quarters. They can play cover 3. We clean the corner safety. Doug, you're up underneath. Run it back, Corey, you're in the flat. Our base foundation play. But we have got to take some shots and hit these people to get them off the line of scrimmage. That doesn't mean we're not going to run the ball and do what we did the first half. It means that we've got to open up our package and light up this damn scoreboard. You know what I'm saying? You keep hitting them in the mouth, and keep hitting them in the mouth, and keep hitting them in the mouth. We'll win this football game. We get the ball coming out at halftime.
Important to note, they get the ball coming out halftime. You just heard there. Shane Boyd so far 8 for 9. He has spread it around enough, and Corey Ross has 75 rushing yards here.
And what they were just talking about is they're going to get the ball deep. I mean, they're looking at Las Vegas, and they're sitting up there with the 7- and 8-man front for Corey Ross. And they still haven't been able to stop him with an 8-man front. I expect to see Boyd and California go deep in the second half. And I'm not talking about later on. I'm talking about right away. I think they've got him set up to throw the ball deep and score quick.
That's been the one thing about Boyd, some questions about being able to make the deep pass. We said 8 for 9. He's been great at getting the little short passes, some dump passes. Usually it's been 12 to 15 yards is kind of his range.
Well, you know, and it's kind of a nice thing for him because, you know, you got Corey Ross who's 5'6", and you can hide him in the backfield, especially when you put a fullback in front of him. Now, when you got him in there, the defensive linemen really don't see him right away. I mean, you got to make sure that you play your gap so that, you know, if he comes there, you got to make the tackle. But the thing about it is once you fake to him, and when you do, that freezes the linebackers, and it's going to allow the wide receivers to get around behind the linebackers in front of the safeties and go deep on these guys.
We'll see if California can open it up. They're leading here 7-3. We'll take a look at highlights and look into the locker room one more time as we go to break. Game situation, California has responded through the first half, up 7-3 over Las Vegas. Here at intermission, both teams with 2-2 records. Las Vegas can wrap it up and go to the championship game with a victory. California wins, they're still in it. Paul, we've seen a really good defensive game on both parts.
Yeah, there's been a couple of special plays, and Corey Ross is involved in 2 of them. We're going to see him on this long run here. He gets caught by down on the right-hand side of the field, but then you're going to see him make this quick move back to the inside and in for the touchdown. Now, on the other side of the ball, you got J.P. Lossman. I think he has thrown the ball extremely well. He's tucked it in. He should have tucked it in one other time. He's tucked it in twice. But look at where he puts the ball, where it's catchable. And he's had at least 5 drops. 5 drops in the first half of this ball game.
Gano's 35-yarder just before halftime kept the Locos from being shut out for only the second time in the first half. And you take a look at the numbers there, and including the numbers for California. They talked about getting a little more balance. That's what they've talked about throughout. The 91 yards they have, 75 of those are from Corey Ross. And 2 clock-eating drives for both teams that resulted in only 1 score in that second quarter. Vegas missed the field goal attempt, and California was able to get theirs, and that was it, except for 1 brief possession for California near intermission.
And I said at the beginning of this game, the one thing about this game between both teams is the one that takes care of the ball. We have had 0 turnovers, and that's why this game is so close. It is 0 turnovers. And I guarantee you that the team that can get the ball deep, passing, now we know that they can run, and we sure know that California can run, but the team that can get the ball deep, hit that one big play, is going to win it.
Lossman certainly can. Will he be able to? Boyd, can he do it? He really hasn't been tested like that. Oh, Sape with the clothesline on Ross. That shows you the hard hitting we've seen here in the first half. We get ready for the second half kickoff when we come back.
Welcome back to the UFL on HDNet.
This has the feel of a playoff game. It's a crisp, cool night here in the Silicon Valley. We're at the San Jose State Spartan Stadium. And these teams have hit hard and often, and players come back out and shake hands with the Pop Warner stars that were on display here at halftime. And there's the California home team greeting some of their young fans.
Boy, isn't that terrific? And these young guys are standing and saying, hey, I shook hands. Like, okay, let me get a roster. And there's Coach Green.
There's Denny Green coming up.
That's
cool
wonderful. Great job, Denny.
And Denny Green, what a job he has done with this team. You see Shane Boyd. Boyd, we talked about him losing his job after the first game, regaining it by the third game. He's 8 for 9 on tonight and has done a nice job. And Denny Green is standing by right now with Natalie. Natalie?
Coach, what did you like most about your team's play in the first?
Well, I thought we were pretty aggressive. You know, we wanted to be able to run the ball, and we did. We just didn't take advantage of the scoring opportunities. Defensively, we're keeping out of the end zone, and this is a very good Las Vegas team. If you can keep them out of the end zone, that means you're making some good progress for just the first half.
Now, you talked about the running game already, but Shane Boyd 8 for 9. What can we expect to see from your offense in the second?
I think pretty much the same thing. We've got to just control the ball. There'll be some passing opportunities, but I think they'll come off for the run.
Thank you very much for your time. Kenny?
Thanks, Natalie. Dennis Green wanting to get this team in playoff contention in the second week. We talked about some wholesale changes. He's certainly done that. And California, no doubt the most improved team, and they will go on offense first here in the second half as Graham Gano tees it up. He'll kick to B.J. Sams. On the bounce, Sams will let it roll into the end zone, and California will start at their own 20.
You know, when you look at this score, you would think, that old expression, playing it close to the vest. No, they're not. They're really not doing that. If you remember in the first half, J.P. Lossman threw the ball. Guys dropped it all over the place. California did exactly what we thought they were going to do. They're going to run the football. They got the best runner in the league. Why not run the football? They have been doing that. The surprising part is Boyd. He's only missed one throw in the first half.
He hit his first 5 as he comes out with Shackelford and West as receivers. Ross is in the backfield with the body, the blocking fullback. Play action right off, and he flips it over, and it's incomplete. A little pressure there for Shane Boyd. Applied by Owassum. It looked like Adrian Owassum might have got a little piece of that with the trajectory of flight.
He did. He tipped the ball. You know, I thought if you're going to come out and you're going to throw the ball, you run a little play action, I would, take a shot at him deep to get him off that line of scrimmage. They've got 8 in the box.
We heard him in halftime talk about trying to go deep. That's not been California's game. This is their game. Ross carrying it. Ross going across the 30, picking up 11 and a first down. Parrish makes the tackle.
The bad thing about 8 in the box is, it's supposed to be there to stop the run, to stop a guy like Corey Ross. But the bad thing about 8 in the box is watch what happens when Corey Ross gets past the first line. When he gets past the first line of defense, if they don't make that one tackle there, he's gone. We saw it in the first half. They missed the tackle in the secondary, and once you do that, then he's got wide open field. That's the problem that I see with 8 in the box. If you don't stop him at the line of scrimmage, he's going to pick up 8 to 10.
Ross with 86 yards rushing on 9 carries. 1st and 10 at the 11. Why not? Stay with Ross. Right up the middle again. He's almost a guarantee for 3 or 4 yards.
I just like to think, the one thing about Ross that you really like is that his feet never stop. You hear people talk about his, second gear, and he's doing all these other things. But when you see a runner like Ross, he doesn't stop. He is in a continuous motion. It's his first effort, his continuous effort that does it.
2nd and 7 at the 34. Again with Ross. Ross, another first down. That's just old-fashioned straight-at-you football.
And he's, you know what? And this is also belief in your offensive line. Now, Ross is a little tired. coming out. But just take a look at this offensive line. And watch him open the hole. Watch how quick Ross gets to it. And once he gets to the hole, you got defensive linemen. They're trying to get off of offensive linemen. While you're doing that, Ross is already by you.
Ross 11 on that carry. He's over 400 yards on the season. 1st and 10 up to the 42. He gets a break. Washington returns to the backfield. And John David Washington will go straight ahead for 2.
You know, until you stop California's running the football, until you completely stop them, they're going to just keep coming at you. And the thing about it is, they've got the lead by 4. They're controlling the ball. They're controlling the clock. And they're wearing this defense down.
Second 7, Boyd from the shotgun. They'll keep it on the ground with Washington. Maybe 2.
The difference between not Boyd, but Ross and Washington is Washington hesitates. Ross doesn't. Ross sees the hole and bam, he explodes in it. Watch Washington. He's going to hesitate right here. Stop, hesitate, and then go into the hole. Once you do that, you allow the linebackers, and that's Laban, the leading tackler in the league, get to you.
Ross comes back in. Boyd throwing incomplete. They don't make a lot of deep passes. It's just not the style of Boyd in the California offense, and they miss on 3rd down.
Boyd was trying to hit Lowry, number 84. Now he's pointing, is he supposed to go up the field or what? Because when he threw that ball, that wasn't even close to Lowry.
Adam Grassel will kick it away. Sammy Parker awaits the kick. Flag down. They'll let it roll, and it goes down at the 7, and another flag comes in late.
Well, this is either running into the kicker or roughing the kicker, because this was thrown
44 yards on the punt as it stands at the moment. We'll see what the penalties are. John Bible heading up the officials tonight, the referee. J.P. Lossman, no doubt anxious just to get back out there, see if he can get some offense going here in the second half against what's been a very tough California defense.
46-yard punt by Adam Grassel. No return.
There are 2 penalties on this play, and the referee,
John
Bible, is talking it over with Denny Green. And Fossil said, well, please someone come and talk it over with me too, please.
Seemed like a very calm, pleasant talk.
Yes, it did. And Denny.
Okay, now, Jim, your turn.
We've got holding back here. We've got Abby here. What's an Abby? Blocking back. So if you keep it on clean hands, you're going to be backed up to about the 4-yard line, 3-yard line, or we can just offset and re-kick.
Well, we want to re-kick.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Well, you got 2 penalties. One against California for holding. The other one's blocking in the back against Las Vegas. And you heard the explanation. If you let the penalties go.
Offense number 43. Illegal block in the back on the defense. Number 84. Penalties offset. Re-kick.
And a great job by John Bible to lay it out. That was crystal clear. I knew, he's going to decline it. It's laid right out. As you get it at the 4, then kick it again.
You know what I really like about it is the fact that we're allowed to go in there and listen to it.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, we didn't have to explain it. You already heard it. And it was really kind of neat.
So Adam Grassel will do it again.
Denny Green wanted to play.
Exactly.
Yeah, he wanted the ball back down there at about the 8-yard line.
Sammy Parker, the explosive wide receiver out of University of Oregon, would like a chance to field this ball and do something with it. short. What a difference that made with those offsetting penalties. Good field position for Vegas when we come back.
Inside Spartan Stadium, where the California Redwoods are still up over Las Vegas 7-3. But California's starting fullback is now out. John Abadi, once again showing signs of a concussion. They held him the past few games, wanted to start him tonight, started feeling dizzy at the beginning of the game. Pulled him in the first half, wanted to see how he was going to do. The trainer told me they just can't mess around with a concussion, and they told him at half to go ahead and put street clothes on. Once again, starting fullback John Abadi is out for tonight. Kenny?
All right, thanks, Natalie. We expect to see Ayabadejo and Odie Armstrong filling in more at fullback. It happened a couple of weeks ago and kept him out of the lineup there. Now here comes Vegas, 1st and 10 at their own 28. J.P. Lossman, first time on offense here in the second half. And they'll keep it on the ground and go straight up the middle with Marcel Shipp. Now, going back to that punt just a moment ago, it was a 24-yard punt that goes out of bounds at the 24. If it hadn't been for the offsetting penalties, Vegas would started this drive about the 4-yard line. Instead, they started at their own 24.
You know, and you're looking at what Vegas did. I thought Vegas would come out and throw the ball deep. Well, they're coming out with Shipp and running the ball. He was the only guy in the backfield. Now they have, a tight end in the back with him.
2nd and 3 on the ground. They get the first down with Shipp, and he spins up close to midfield, and bring him down is Brandon Harrison.
See, when you're looking at Vegas on defense, what they're doing is putting 7 and 8 guys in the box because they know that California's going to run. Uh-oh. That Shipp is limping off the field, and we already know that D.D. Dorsey, their other running back, has got a sore ankle. But again, what happens is California, they're playing pass first and run second. So what did Vegas do? They came out and ran 2 times.
Dorsey comes back in, play action, completion, had a man wide open and Perry, and he gets down inside the 30 and before being forced out of bounds by Harrison. And he comes to tap Perry for the 3rd time after Perry dropped 2 early in the first half.
Well, and that's what Fossil said on the way out to Ronnie. She said, you know, just be patient, calm down, everything's going to work. And here's Perry with the catch the ball first, run with it second.
First and 10 at the 28 of California. Nice drive going so far for J.P. Lossman and company. Back on the ground they go to D.D. Dorsey, tripped up in the backfield. And Maurice Crum, who's been very active in this game, getting in to make the tackle.
Boy, Maurice Crum is reading. There's something that he's reading in that offensive line. Lossman is just holding that hand. I know that thing hurts. And again, every time that Lossman puts his hands under center, now he's in a shotgun situation. But when he's got his hands under center, that ball pops into that left finger.
Hurt the finger on a run back in the first. And under pressure, goes over the middle, has a completion. And nice move by Lossman to take his time, look and find Sammy Parker.
Oh, yeah, but he got Jason Parker, nailed him, number 90. I mean, Lossman just stayed in and threw the ball. On the left of Lossman, you see him coming in. That was Parker that hits him. That was just an outstanding play.
Little trade-off there, huh? Jason Parker hits him, but Sammy Parker catches him.
Yeah.
And they pick up 7, 3rd and 3 down to the 21. Scobie in the backfield. Lossman unloading for Bergen in the end zone and overthrows him. Let's check in with Ron.
Kenny, quick update on Marcel Shipp. He came off, he was holding his left knee. He ran it off, they taped it up, and he is expected to come back upstairs.
Thanks, Ron. You see the frustration on Lossman's part there as he overthrows a wide open Bergen, and now it will be Gano coming on to attempt a field goal.
And Bergen was wide open. He had Dominic Patrick, and what happened is Lossman tried to put some air underneath it, but Patrick held him up Bergen up long enough so he couldn't get to the ball.
39-yard attempt for Gano. He's now 2 for 3 on the night. He has been the scoring offense for the Locos. California is still leading it, 7-6 here in the third quarter. 7-6, Redwoods lead. Las Vegas has scored on 2 Gano field goals. He tees it up, gets ready to kick it away with B.J. Sams standing back for California.
Just once again, I mean, the defenses tonight have been superb. I mean, they don't bend a little bit, but don't break. They've just been really good, and there's been a lot of hard hitting in this football game.
A terrific game with so much on the line. Vegas a chance to win and go to the playoffs, and California trying to stay alive with the win. And here's Sams, 15-20. 25, Sams with a nice return. And so California will begin this drive at their own 26. Shane Boyd has been solid, not spectacular, but solid, which is what they've come to expect with him as a starter.
And that's all they really want out of him, because they've got Corey Ross, who is the leading rusher in the league, and he has done everything they've asked him to do. He just, the guy, Corey Ross, is so solid because you just don't get a great shot at him.
Ross on the verge of even a bigger night, huge night perhaps for him, 97. In motion is Doug Gabriel. We haven't heard much from him receiving so far, only 1 catch. That one shot right through his hands.
I'm sorry, but Doug Gabriel, he looked back. Watch it. You're going to see it. It's coming right at you, folks. Watch this ball. Look at Gabriel. It went right through his hands. Now he looks at the ball. Now he looks back at Boyd and went, your fault, my fault? I would say my fault. Put your hand up. It was my fault.
2nd and 10 at the 26.
Don't go looking back at the quarterback, man. Catch it.
Yeah, if you want another pass from him. Ross the setback. Boyd throws, complete to Shackelford. Sonny Shackelford came into this game tied for the team lead with 11 catches. He was actually tied with Corey Ross, who has been such a weapon out of the backfield, but Shackelford hauling this in. That is his 2nd catch of the night.
Well, they picked up 6 on this play, Kenny, and it gives them in a situation now that where they can either run or pass. They're in that, it's not that 3rd and long.
3rd and 4, 32. Gabriel in motion again, goes up on the right side. Boyd looks on the slant, has a completion to Joe West, and West has the first down.
Well, this is a super move by Joe West, for the simple reason on the initial catch, he did not have the first down yet. And, you just have that feeling of where you are. Watch Joe West. He's not at the first down marker. Now watch. He picks up that extra 1.5 yards and picks up the first down.
Teddy Lehman, who leads the league in tackles, in to make it there. 1st and 10 at the 38. Boyd pitched back to Ross. Ross looks for some opening and gets a couple of yards.
I just wonder how many times that Ross has been thrown for a loss. I mean, not in this game, but I mean, this young man is, to me, he's really special.
Got a yard on that. Yeah, every time you look around, Paul, he's the kind of guy that can always find a way to squeeze through the smallest of openings and get a yard or 2. He has 97 yards tonight. 2nd and 9, 39. Boyd keeping. Steps up, throwing complete to Gabriel at the 40, down close to the 35. There they connected. Shane Boyd to Doug Gabriel.
Boy, this just shows you how good Shane Boyd could be. Shane Boyd, the rush is on. He steps up, and this is not an easy throw. Watch the throw that he makes. Here comes Gabriel across. Watch where this ball hits him. Bang, right in the chest. But Shane, watch what Boyd does. Bang, avoids the rush, steps up, and he's throwing this ball moving forward. It's not an easy throw.
27 yards on that pass from Boyd to Gabriel. 1st and 10 down to the 35. Back to the ground with Ross, and as usual, a couple of more yards right there. And the thing about Ross, we talked about his size earlier. He's not certainly imposing when you see him. He's about 5'6", and but he's so durable. He averages right around 20 carries a game. He's going to get that again tonight, it looks like, and he takes some punishment.
Please, I am not comparing him to Marcus Allen. I am in a sense that Marcus Allen, you never got a shot at Marcus Allen. That's why he lasted so long. When you look at Corey Ross, he's the same kind of guy. He's moving. He sees it when he can. There's only so much he can get. He goes down. He does not give you that full body shot at him.
2nd and 8. Boyd again, play fake, rolling under pressure, gets away from the man. Boyd is going to tuck it, run, and get out of bounds. Oh, and take a little bit of a spill right there into the kicking net. Doug Gabriel over there protecting his QB just in case a flag is thrown.
All right, here's Boyd. Yeah, he's already out of bounds when they shove him. I mean, it doesn't look like much.
Personal foul, 78 on the defense. Late hit out of bounds. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
That's on Kalaji.
That's Kalaji. But the thing about it is he was like 2 yards out of bounds when he shoved him. And, you know, it wasn't that hit that put him into the net. It was that after he had crossed the out of bounds line is what they threw the flag for.
Jim Fossil not agreeing with that.
When you look at it, you got to agree with he was beyond the out of bounds line.
And that's going to move it down to the 15, 1st and 10. Ron, I imagine they're a little heated on the Vegas sideline.
Jim Fossil was upset. He was saying he still had 1 foot in bounds, so it couldn't have been a late hit. That is what his argument was. Back upstairs.
Thanks, Ron. 1st and 10 down at the 15. Boyd turns, Ross takes. And Ross gets it down to the 11. And Ross now with over 100 yards on this game.
You know, California came in here. I mean, these guys practice in the same facility. Here's a shot. Now, he said 1 foot is still in bounds. No, it's not. He is definitely going out of bounds. He's committed himself out of bounds, and then you shove him. And again, it wasn't a hard hit. It was the fact that he was already out of bounds when you hit him.
Yeah, he had his momentum going, and it went that way. So it's now 2nd and 7 at the 11. They'll stay on the ground with Ross. Look at Ross. He's stacked up, finally pushed back, finally brought down. Among those, Gary Stills, the linebacker, coming up to help push the pile the other way. It was a one-man pile, basically. It was 5'6" Corey Ross and the lineman.
Yeah, you know, watch his move. Watch his left foot. See that move? Back. Now he's back inside. All right. Only picked up 2 yards. But there's no loss. I mean, this guy really has great feet.
3rd and 5 at the 9 of Las Vegas. California threatening with 2:50 to go in the 3rd quarter. And on a night for the defenses, a couple of touchdowns would be big. Shackelford was in motion. Boyd looking. Boyd still looking, and will throw it away.
Boyd went out, and when he went outside and he hesitated, then it was over. Once he made that hesitation, it was over. Because now he had nobody. He couldn't run anymore because he was blocked out, and everybody in the end zone was covered. He did the smart thing and just threw the ball away. Take the 3.
And Parker Douglas missed his only attempt tonight. He is 4 for 6 on the season. And he'll attempt this from 28 yards. That one's true. And California now is up 10-6 over Las Vegas. Another long drive for California. It results in 3 and keeps them up by 4. California eating off 5.5 minutes of clock, marching 64 yards. Douglas with the 28-yard field goal. It makes it 10-6 in favor of California, so you can look at it again. Vegas now gets ready to come on the attack. California moved a long way, Paul, but they only got 3, and Lossman gets another shot at him coming up.
This is an incredible stat that you have here. In the first quarter, Las Vegas had 3 possessions, okay? In the second quarter, they had 1. And in the third quarter, there's 2 minutes and 24 seconds remaining. That's all there is. They've only had 1. This is their second.
Gano kicks off. And Perry returns it. Tab Perry gets a nice return across the 25. Las Vegas now getting ready to go on the attack when we come back. Welcome back to San Jose, the home team, California Redwoods. Hoping to take that express to the playoffs, but they must win tonight. They lead it 10-6. And welcome back. Here we are up in the booth. Kenny Rice, Paul McGuire, and we have...
I'm the pole.
You're somewhere up here, Ron. There you go.
No.
Lean in. Show him your injured pinky, if nothing else.
No, it's what I'll tell you. This is a beautiful stadium to do a game in.
It is. It's a great stadium here at San Jose State. Ron Truck and Natalie Taylor on the sideline for only the second time in the second half. Las Vegas goes on the attack. 2:18 to go. Movement before the snap.
That's on Las Vegas.
Before the snap, false start, 53 offense. 5 yards, first down.
I'll tell you what, Jim Fossil, I didn't think that, he never thought in his wildest dreams that they would be making as many mistakes as they are in a game that's this important to them. 5 drop passes in the first half of the ball game. Just a penalty like that, you're in a drive, it's first down. You're just on the field, and you can't get the signal straight.
We've seen that happen before, too. Play fake. Lossman nowhere to go. Now some pressure, and he's going down for the second time. He had no place to throw it. Jason Parker had a beat on him and puts him down, and a flag comes in late. Extracurricular.
I'm sorry, Kenny, but this is inexcusable. You cannot eat this ball like Lossman did. You just can't do this. He's got the ball. It's 1st and 15. He's got the ball back on about the 7 or 8 yard line, and you have the ability to throw this ball away.
Chris Cooper, you saw there too, in a very intense discussion, it appears, from our vantage point.
Well, they threw a flag.
Get in the fucking locker.
I think that they might have thrown Chris Cooper out of the ball game.
It appears that way.
Personal foul, 93 on the defense, 15-yard penalty, 93 is disqualified.
Yeah, this is so dumb. This is dumb on both parts. First on Lossman for taking the sack, and Jason Parker is the guy that gets the sack. Now, I don't know what Chris Cooper did, but it's stupid. All right, here comes the sack. You got to throw this ball away. You can't do this and win a football game. This is what I'm talking about, patience and knowing where you are on the field. Now, that was Lossman's fault. Now, what Cooper does, I tell you, Denny Green is so upset he can't even see straight.
Somewhere in there, Chris Cooper got involved with pushing and shoving at the end of the play, and the man who is second in sacks in the league has been tossed. He's number 93. He goes down right there. That's him on the ground and then getting back up, and that's it, where he grabs the face mask there, it would appear, Paul, where he grabs the face mask of Jesse Boone.
And on top of it, he ends up kicking him. And I tell you what, you just admire Denny Green just saying, get off the field, get in the locker room. You knew he was thrown out of the ball game.
And Cooper, The defensive tackle who is so important to that front line as well as they have played and some of the pressure they've been able to get on. What does that mean now as he goes out of the game, tossed with 1:58 to go in the third quarter? Marcel Shipp returns to the backfield on 1st and 10. They'll try to do an around to Thurman rather, and it's not fooling anyone, and especially A.J. Schabel.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, I hate reverses. So help me, I hate it. And this is if there is such a thing as a double reverse, watch this. This ball is now 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Schabel, number 94, never fell for it. He just stayed at home, or he got caught up in a block. So he was back and back. You know, why would you call this kind of play?
They lose 12. It's going to be 2nd and 22 at the 20.
We've seen 3 dumb things happen in 2 plays.
Lossman rips it over the middle, incomplete.
We see Lossman taking the sack, which he shouldn't have. We see Cooper get thrown out of the game for not only face mask, but kicking a guy. And then we see, we see the entire team, whoever calls a double reverse when, you know, you're just trying to move the ball, they just got you out of trouble. Their defense, California's got you out of trouble, and then you put yourself back in trouble again.
3rd and 22 at their own 20. Dorsey returns to the backfield for Las Vegas. Can Lossman come up with something big here? They need it. Good pressure, throwing, and overthrowing Kirkus. And Kirkus was matched stride for stride by Robert Herbert, and the flag is thrown.
I mean, if there's a ball, see, to me, the one rule now, and everybody, like, luckily defensive California is saying, well, this ball wasn't catchable. I'm telling you, with the speed of some of these guys, how do you know if a ball is catchable or not?
Pass interference, 31 on the defense, 1st down at the spot of the foul.
A huge call.
Oh, man, twice they've let Vegas off the hook. Okay, that's Robert Herbert, number 31. They call him for holding or pass interference. Now, you know, Kirkus is going downfield. First of all, his left arm gets out. I mean, I don't know.
Well, it moves it to the 45 of California. That's how big that play was. With 49 seconds to go here in the third quarter.
Timeout, California. That's their first timeout of the half.
Herbert goes to the sideline. It's real interesting, isn't it? 2 weeks ago, a big pass interference in the Las Vegas, Florida game, as you remember, that was called in that game against Wally Dada, and the argument was made by Jim Fossil at the time that it was uncatchable. It was over the head of the intended receiver. It didn't matter about the contact.
Well, the thing about that play is you're running straight down the field. Now, the question is, could Kirkus have gotten to the ball with his speed? Obviously, he couldn't, because they felt that pass interference was by Herbert, which slowed him down. I don't know how you can make that judgment call on that kind of play. Now, if that ball was thrown over his head and out of bounds against the wall, I can understand it. Now you've got a legitimate gripe about it. But I don't know who can determine whether a ball is catchable or not in the playing field.
And remember, that was a 3rd and 15 situation. It led to the first down. Shipp in the backfield. Lossman dropping, throwing to the sideline, incomplete, going for Kirkus, and broken up by Herbert.
Well, that time it's a good thing that Lossman has the arm that he has, because Herbert was right there for the interception.
Let's check in with Natalie.
Guys, I was listening to that huddle there during that timeout, and the players came off the field very fired up, all yelling, everybody talking at once. Coaches basically called that timeout just to tell them to get their minds straight, let it go. It was in the past, and move forward. Guys?
We'll see if they can. Dorsey returns on 2nd and 10 to the Vegas backfield and gets the handoff. Gets about 4 straight up. California 50 yards in penalties on this drive. On this drive, it set up 2 first downs, including, again, that huge pass interference on what was a 3rd and 15, backed up to around their own 20 was Vegas at the time.
All right, here we go again, 3rd down and long. This is 3rd and, what, 7? You know, have we seen Vegas throw any kind of screen? Have we seen Las Vegas run a draw? Well, you're not going to see a draw now.
With an empty backfield, no. On 3rd and 7 at the 42. Time called, Vegas.
That's our first timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Why would you take a timeout
with 2 seconds?
With 2 seconds to go?
You think he's being asked that question?
No. Hey, Ron, go ahead and jump in and ask him. Oh, no. All right, I want to find out how good Ron is. Go ahead, Ron, jump in there and ask him. Ask him why they call timeout. Oh, help me. Hit me.
Well, let's see. The mental note there. Timeout burned with 2 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. In a 10-6 game. Huge game for both. In essence, a playoff game in this, the 5th regular season game for both teams. And Lossman comes up again, empty backfield. 3rd and 7 at the 42. JP stands and delivers. Gets the first down on a nice move on a crossing pattern to Sammy Parker.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
So on the final play of the 3rd quarter, Parker hauls it in. Vegas sustains the drive. We'll see what they can do when we come back with the 4th quarter. You're watching the UFL on HDNet from San Jose.
This telecast is authorized by the United Football League. Any rebroadcast or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the UFL is prohibited.
California still up over Las Vegas, but there was a lot of emotion there to end the 3rd quarter. What are you thinking of that last series?
Well, I mean, that was just ridiculous. I mean, we had a very dumb play. You can't retaliate. There's no me in football. I don't care what the other guy does to you. We had a 20-yard loss, so they got a first down. And then the pass interference call, which is, there's a thing called uncatchable. That's why it's in the rule book. So we just got to settle down here and build our wall and stop them here. We've done a pretty good job of it before. We got to do it again.
Thanks, Coach. Guys, back to you.
All right, and he was talking about the pass interference that he disagrees with. It was called on Robert Herbert, and then the stupid play he was talking about, the things you just don't retaliate about, was one of his star linemen, Chris Cooper, got ejected from the game.
And I like the way he put it. There's no I in this game. There's no me. It's all we. I mean, you just put your team in jeopardy.
They begin the 4th quarter with Shipp in the backfield for Las Vegas. He takes it straight up the middle, gets down inside the 25. Marcel Shipp has had a very solid game tonight. Dorsey only 6 carries. Shipp with 13 on the evening, and that will bring up 2nd and 4 down to the 24-yard line.
Now when you get to 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5 in that area now, you really put the pressure on the defense. Now you can, most of your playbook is in now.
On the ground again, Shipp shakes off a tackle, trying to turn the corner, turns it into positive yards as the ball pops out but goes harmlessly out of bounds. Nice move there by Marcel Shipp. Good running.
Yeah, this is called continuous motion and keeping your feet moving. You watch, Marcel Shipp should be tackled right here, but he is not. And that's Harrison, who is a safety. He can't bring him down. You got to protect the ball.
It's 3rd and 4. Movement on the left side.
False start, 73 offense, 5 yards, 3rd down.
You saw Jason Capizzi bang the side of his helmet when he did it.
You know, when you make a mistake, in all the mistakes I've ever made in my lifetime, I've never hit my own self in the head.
Or certainly draw attention that it was you that made the mistake in case you didn't see who was moving.
Yeah, I kind of like that, though, that you take credit for it.
Yeah, you give him credit for that. 3rd and 9 at the 29 of California. Scobie and Dorsey in the backfield. Lossman over the middle, has his man. Kirkus inside the 5. David Kirkus making the grab, and a first down and goal.
Boy, is that a great throw by Lossman. And I thought Harrison, number 27, coming across, might have had a shot at this ball. No, he was just way too far away. But Kirkus goes up in the air. That is just an outstanding play. It's a terrific throw and a great catch.
First and goal at the 4. Who would have thought this, going all the way back to how this drive started? Double reverses, thrown for losses, 50 yards in California penalties. It's all added up to this. First and goal at the 4. Ship returns to the backfield and takes the pitch. And is swarmed on as he tries to get outside. And Maurice Crum is there once again.
Boy, Maurice Crum has done everything you ask of a linebacker in this ball game tonight. He has been everywhere. Number 55 is Maurice Crum. Ship is trying to get to the outside. Look at Crum play that thing from the inside out. I mean, that is just outstanding play by the linebacker.
Second and goal at the 4. Crum from Notre Dame having one of his best games. Began the season working out in the Tampa Bay Bucks camp before coming to the UFL. Dorsey returns. Scobie also into the backfield. Lossman throwing and underneath. Trying once again for Kirkus and underthrows it.
That ball was not, to me, was not catchable. And now, I don't know if it was tipped or not. Here, no, it's not. Lossman just throws the ball down in the ground. Kirkus, the reason I say it's not catchable, he's moving in a slant pattern towards the goalpost. There's no way he can get stopped and get back to the outside. That ball was humming. He didn't have a chance. Someone better block Crum.
3rd and goal at the 8. Dorsey, the lone setback. Lossman time, now flushed out. Throwing wide open, did he get both feet in? Thurman makes the touchdown grab. Great play by Lossman. He kept his composure. He found a wide open Thurman, and Thurman able to cradle it, keep the feet in.
Boy, I tell you, this is, you're absolutely right. On both counts here, Lossman almost gets sacked, but look where he puts this ball, back to the outside. Thurman had all the time in the world to catch this ball. Boy, I'm going to tell you what now. The question is, was he out of bounds? Was his hips out of bounds when that ball came down? I challenge this.
They get that challenge out before the kick can be gotten away. They're going to review that.
It just, I mean, it almost looks
California's challenged the rule on the field. The ball was caught and possessed for a touchdown.
Thurman was down when the ball got there. I mean, but that is so fast and so quick. Look at this. Is Thurman, is he down? His knee? Well, I'll tell you what. His knee is on the yellow part. See the yellow part there? The yellow part is in the playing field. Now, if that's the case, here's a shot from Thurman from behind. Now, just take a look.
No, you can't.
Well, that one there just looks like he's out of bounds. But
was the feet in? Did he have control as he's going out of bounds?
Well, if you're already down, if you're down and out of bounds and the ball, you catch it out of bounds, it's not a catch. You're out of bounds. And the upper part of his body is the part that I was looking at. Is the upper part of his, the upper part of his legs, his rear end, is that out of bounds when that ball gets there?
It's close. The yellow, where the yellow meets the white. The yellow part of the end zone, part of this blue and yellow end zone.
Is it conclusive? I mean, that's the thing. You got to remember now, this was called a touchdown on the field. You really have to have solid evidence to overturn this decision.
As of now, it appears that Thurman has made his first touchdown grab.
I don't think there's anything to overturn it. I really don't.
The officials are seeing what we're seeing. Is that right, Larry Upson, who's in here as always, the head of officials? And they're seeing what we saw.
We got Larry. What do you think, Larry?
Larry now is leaving the booth, Paul.
After further review, the play stands as called on the field. It's a touchdown. California is charged with a timeout.
Touchdown, Lossman hitting. One more look at it, Andre Thurman.
Just remember now that all the pictures that we see, they see, the officials see, that you're seeing. And there's not enough to overturn this. There's not the angle that could show that he is definitely out of bounds, because you've got to remember the original call was touchdown.
Vegas has taken the lead. Gano trying to add to that with 11:46 to go in the fourth quarter. Las Vegas 13, California 10. Thurman with the touchdown reception. Jim Fossil's team, a long, strange drive that resulted in 7.
Welcome back to San Jose, where Andre Thurman's TD catch gives Vegas the 13-10 lead. Andre, describe that play for us.
Just a basic out, followed with a slant. JP got flushed out of the pocket. We got scramble rules, strong arm. Hit me right there. I was able to drag my feet, hit the knee. 1 knee equals 2 feet.
They did review it. Did you know as a player, did you feel you were in the entire time?
I know my knee hit, and I know I caught the ball clean. So I was very confident that that play was going to stand.
Huge touchdown. Congratulations. Kenny, Paul, back upstairs.
Thanks, Ron. Gano tees it up for Las Vegas, now in the lead for the first time. B.J. Sam stands back for the kick. And what a crazy drive it was. It started, 12 plays, 72 yards, 5.5 minutes, ending with that 8-yard touchdown pass. But that's not even close to the story of that drive, as Sams takes it right at the goal line. Cut, stays up, 25, nice return, gets across the 30 to about the 32 for California.
I've been doing this for 39 years, my friend. I don't ever remember seeing a drive that bizarre.
Now that's saying bizarre. And it all goes back to the timeout that was called with 2 seconds to go in the third quarter, inexplicably called. And then after the timeout that Jim Fossil was upset about, Lossman throws for a first down, and then it continues in the fourth quarter as we look at Sams with that nice return. What do we have in there? We had another penalty, a double reverse that fails, a 3rd and 15 that resulted in an interference call against California. Everything and more in that.
Yeah, the one that tops it off is 50 yards in penalties against California.
Play action, Boyd still with it. Now firing, has a man wide open, that's Ross at the 40. What else can this guy do? Corey Ross, who's had a spectacular running game, hauls in that pass for a first down.
I got to tell you, I thought this ball was going to get picked off. Just take a look at this throw. This shows you about Shane Boyd's arm and how strong his arm is. He can't throw the ball to the right. He's going back to this side to Ross. But just take a look. This ball really looks like it should have been picked off by Porter, the corner.
And Ross sneaks in between Porter and Lehman. It's a 29-yard pass completion. Boyd again fires it and has his man completion, and that was a nice place to Glenn Holt, his 3rd catch of the game. This after having no receptions all season.
I'm going to tell you what, Shane Boyd just fired a shot. Watch his shot. Look at this ball. I mean,
that's a big-time pass.
You know that old expression, on a rope? I don't know what that expression means, but that's on a rope.
Well, I'll say this. He was an incredible baseball player, got drafted twice out of high school and after his junior year in the University of Kentucky for that throwing arm of his. He'll keep it on the ground to Ross, trying to get outside, gets down inside the 25. Let's check in with Ron.
Kenny, Las Vegas starting defensive tackle Wendell Bryant. He injured his foot. He will not return to this game. He is out. Kenny, Paul?
All right, thanks, Ron. Blow to Vegas here, especially when they're trying to stop a California team that didn't even blink after that long, crazy drive that resulted in a score from Vegas. They've come back, and they're just taking it right at them.
And for 3 quarters in 5 minutes, California didn't throw the ball much. All of a sudden, they come out, they're behind, and they just went crazy.
On 2nd and 8, again, play fake. Boyd rolling, looking, throwing, and it's over the head of, fortunately for him, Nick Turnbull. He was going for Lowry. Turnbull was about as much in the vicinity as his intended receiver.
This is the one where you, with Boyd, who are you looking at? You see Lowry coming, but this ball, I mean, it just took off on him. It went straight up in the air, and Turnbull, I mean, it kind of surprised him. He tried to stop and come back. You see Lowry, number 84 there. That ball was, now there is a ball that was not catchable by anybody.
You see the passing, and suddenly California now, they've turned into Florida and Las Vegas in this drive. The passing teams in the league. 3rd and 8 at the 24. Boyd throwing, complete. Has Shackelford, first down. A nice, timely pass, Boyd to Shackelford, and the drive continues.
You know, the thing that I like about this drive is that they're not even slowing down. You know, for 3.5 quarters almost, that they kind of ran time off the clock, did some things. Now they're moving at a faster pace, and I don't think Las Vegas is ready for these guys.
And remember, going back early, Boyd was looking to Dennis Green on the sideline way back in the first half, motioning, let's keep it going, let's keep it going. Ross, the lone setback, 1st and 10 at the 14. Ross gets the carry, goes the right side, gets down close to the 10.
Now here's another 3.5-yard gain by Ross. It just looks like he goes into that big pile, and, you know, he comes out underneath everybody. Watch this. Here goes Ross. In motion is Ledbetter, number 82. He'll come back and get a block, and now watch what Ross does. He goes right off his tight end, Ledbetter. Then he picks up 3.5 yards.
Ross, 109 yards so far. 2nd and 7 at the 11. Lowry in motion there. Firing on the slant, complete inside the 5-yard line. Again on the rope. First down. Shackelford hauls it in, and we have seen 2 tremendous passes by Shane Boyd in this drive.
How long have the people been waiting to see if Shane Boyd can throw?
Well, that has been the question.
They
Even
just
the question
found out that he can.
That his own coach has asked a few times.
Well, they found out that he can throw. And, man, has he been on the money. All you have to do is hold on to it. It'll carry into the end zone.
Shackelford had no choice but to catch that, didn't he? That was right between the 8 and the 0.
Or get hammered.
1st and goal at the 3. On the ground, Ross cuts back, gets about a yard that time.
He had Armstrong, number 32, the fullback, blocking for him. And the fullback, Armstrong, went back to the outside. And Ross said, I'm not going there. There's just too many people. It's a shorter distance if I cut it back up inside.
Boyd, 4 for 5, 60 yards on this drive.
I would give you 4 downs of Ross.
2nd and goal at the 2. They've tried him once. Will they go right back with Ross? And they do. And it's fumbled. Fumbled in the end zone. Vegas, it looks as if they've recovered.
Oh.
Wow, what a drive by California to get so close and to fumble it away.
Ross was not in the end zone when he fumbled this football. I'm going to tell you what, they're helping Young off the field, but I'll tell you, I thought Ross had the touchdown. Look at this, but that ball is just knocked out, and he's only at about the 1.5-yard line. This was just an outstanding play.
A great drive going for California. So close, but they fumble it away.
Okay, Ross Kalaji is right here, and he's the guy that's going to stick his left arm in. Let me clear this thing. And he's going to stick his left arm in. Watch his left arm, number 78. It's going to come in right about now. Watch this. He reaches in and knocks the ball out. You got to protect the ball when you're a runner. That was just an outstanding play by a defensive tackle.
Kalaji knocks it loose. Turnbull falls on it, and Las Vegas, a huge play there. California with a great drive going down to the 2, and Corey Ross fumbles, and now Vegas has it at their own 20. Ship is in the backfield, and he takes the handoff and gets back to the line of scrimmage. 6:35 to go in this game. Here's the way it's gone for the Locos in their last 3 possessions, and possessions have been precious in this game. But they have gotten into a rhythm with 2 field goals and a touchdown.
Look at the time on that clock. Almost 6, well, it's over 16 minutes in 3 drives.
Martell and Ship in the backfield. Look at Corey Ross, a great game, and the one miscue, the fumble. Lossman unloading deep down the sideline. He has his man in Kirkus. He laid that on the money right over the shoulder, right in front of Ronnie Prude. Prude and Lay both there.
Josh Lay, number 24, is the other guy that was there with Prude, but just take a look at where this ball is thrown. It's the perfect throw. The perfect throw.
45-yard pass for Lossman. Been waiting for him to unload, and he does. Down to the 35 now, California, with 5:20 to go in this game. Ship remains in the backfield. He's done a nice job tonight, as Dorsey hasn't played that much. But Ship's been the workhorse. And he'll carry here on first down and get it down to around the 31. Look at some of the receivers this year. There's been some good ones. Thorpe and Biddle. Biddle getting a lot of attention. People looking at him in the
look at this.
NFL, but look at the Vegas guys.
These are all Vegas guys. There's 4 of them.
They actually have 5 in the top 10, and you see how they spread the wealth around. Lossman has hit 10 different receivers just last week against New York. He has found 7 different receivers over this season for touchdowns.
I just wore out my finger trying to clear that baby.
2nd and 7. Again with Ship. And they stack him up. Jason Stewart there leading that.
Boy, there's some big guys. Cochran, Stewart. I mean, these guys, this defensive line. The defense is really, I thought both defenses have been superb tonight. And you know what? I wouldn't really like to come back with the way that California took that last drive completely down the field. I wouldn't be comfortable coming away with just 3 and being up by 6 against this team.
Clock still ticking down, 3:44 to go. California has but 1 timeout remaining on this 3rd and 6.
Well, if they let Lossman throw out of his own end just a few moments ago, you've got to believe they're going to let him throw again.
Dorsey, Scobie, backfield. Lossman complete. Kirkus first down inside the 20, out around the 15. Patrick there to force him out.
Well, you know, Kirkus is quiet for a long period of time, and then just in this drive alone, I mean, 2 outstanding catches. But this play here, take a look at the throw. The throw is there in a hurry. Now, there's just no chance for Lay, number 24, to make the tackle. Kirkus just gets the ball, watch him turn, bang, and he's up the field and picked up another, 8 yards.
Kirkus 4 catches, 104 yards. Ship returns to the backfield. 1st and 10 at the 15. Ship left side, gets it inside the 15, maybe a couple on that, and the clock continues to wind down toward 3 minutes.
The biggest problem for California now is that they have the 2-minute warning, but they only have 1 other timeout, and that's going to hurt.
Coming into this, if Las Vegas wins this game, they go to the championship in 2 weeks to play Florida. If California wins, they keep their hopes alive through next week and the season finale. And that time becoming oh so precious now, down to 2:38, and Lossman is going to milk that clock as much as possible, run that play clock down every chance he gets.
We have Vegas next week against New York team.
Second and 9 at the 14. They get it off with about 2 seconds on the play clock. Throws complete to Barthel. Hit. They're trying to rip the ball away. That's tough to do from the 240-pound fullback. Crum right in there with him. Barthel hangs on.
Timeout, California. That's their third and final timeout.
And California takes their final timeout with 2:08 to go. Vegas with the ball. We'll be back after this. 2:08 to go in the fourth quarter. Las Vegas leading 13-10. California in a game that they have to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. Vegas wins. They go to the championship. Here it is, 3rd and 9 at the 14. You see the conversions. Vegas 8 for 13 on 3rd down. They converted 4 in a row. Marcel Shipp returns to the backfield. Play action, Lossman looking. Deep drop, throwing it away. And bringing up 4th down with 2:01 to go in this game.
This has got to be a hometown clock. They only had 8 seconds, and he's back there running around with the ball. But Lossman really did the smart thing and throw this thing away.
Bring up 4th and 9, and Gano will come in. He's 7 for 9 on the season. 2 field goals tonight. This is a 32-yarder, well within his range. And it's there. Gano with 3 field goals on the evening, 16-10, and we come to the 2-minute warning. California, they need a touchdown to keep a playoff hope alive. They'll have the ball when we come back. As of now, there's 1:58 to go in the Redwood season in terms of going on to the playoffs. California has to win this game. They have no timeouts remaining as they await the kick. B.J. Sams moves back to take it. Las Vegas leads it 16-10 over California. Vegas wins. They go to the championship game in 2 weeks. Gano tees it up. It doesn't get better than this. We talked about the importance of this game, and both teams have played exceptional at times, and it's been interesting throughout. Sams deep. He'll wisely take the knee and not run off any unnecessary clock.
You mean to tell me Gano can't make an NFL team? I mean, yes, he puts the ball in the end zone most of the time. He's got a strong leg. I mean, maybe they know something we don't know. Well, I'll tell you what. One thing I don't want to see, it's the only defense in football, in all of football, that I hate with a passion, and that's the prevent. The only thing the prevent defense does for you, my friend, it prevents you from winning. It allows the other team to march down the field and beat you. And these guys are in a prevent.
They're 80 yards away. Shane Boyd first down to Gabriel. Reaches, stretches, catches, and wisely gets out of bounds.
You know what I like about this play is Denny Green smart enough to say, hey, look, all we have to do now is move the chains. We've got plenty of time. That play took 4 seconds because there was 1:58. That took 4 seconds off the clock. They picked up, what, 6 yards? Pick up another 6. Don't get greedy. You got plenty of time to get your touchdown.
Boyd pressure, firing, complete. Boyd once again coming up with the big play and nailing it to West. Joe West hauls it in. First down, California.
The prevent defense. Just take a look. Look at how wide open people are. Look at this. This ball's behind the safety in front of the corner, and you're allowing them to catch the ball.
15 on the play, first down, 1st and 10 out to the 42 of California. Remember, no timeouts remaining for the Redwoods. They had that great drive that ended with a fumble at the 2-yard line. Again, complete. West Nowhere to go this time, cannot get out of bounds. Clock continues to tick, under 1:40 to go.
And just calm down. You got plenty of time. West tried to get out of bounds. He didn't. Just get yourself set. Make sure of the play that's called, and make sure that everybody has a snap count.
Boyd hurries him to the line. Drops, looks, throws, incomplete. Intended for Shackelford.
That's okay. It's all 4-down territory. But one thing, let me just remind you of a rule in the UFL, that all 4 defensive linemen have to have their hands on the ground. So they can't go to a true prevent and take, 8 guys deep. You've got to have 4 men rushing. So all 4 defensive linemen have to have their hands on the ground. You'll see it on this wide shot. Here they are, 1, 2, 3, 4. You see them along the line of scrimmage. They have to have their hands down.
3rd and 4 at the 48. Boyd firing, sideline complete. Glenn Holt, first down and stopping the clock.
There's still 1:22. Now they've taken the ball from the 20 to the 42-yard line. This is, it's again, you're looking at the prevent defense. This is so easy against this defense.
10 on that. Boyd zipping the ball. We have seen a powerful arm in this second half from Shane Boyd. 1st and 10 down to the 42 of Las Vegas. 1:22 to go here in the 4th quarter. Boyd again, complete to West, 35.
Plenty of time. Just take your time. The most important thing that California has to do right now is get everybody set. Take your time and make sure everybody has a snap count. You just don't need a false start.
Boyd again, 2nd and 3. Steps up under pressure. He'll tuck run, get inside the 30, cutting back, still going, gets back around, looking for something down to the 25 is Boyd. And the clock is down to 48 seconds. That took a lot of time to pick up the first down.
Spike one now. You can waste one down. Spike it. All right, that's smart. Now you stop the clock at 42. You still have 3 downs to get that thing in the end zone.
42 ticks to go on the clock in the 4th quarter. California has to win this game to keep their playoff hopes alive, trailing 16-10 over Las Vegas. And what a game for Shane Boyd tonight. 20 out of 28, 189 yards. He led a great drive that ended in a fumble by their top running back, Corey Ross. And they're responding 25 yards away from a score.
Don't you love his poise? I mean, and you're talking about a football team that made a huge amount of changes.
Boyd 9 for 11 in the 4th quarter, 105 yards. Sets up, hits as he was releasing it, intended for Glenn Holt. Holt is begging for a flag over there on Nick Turnbull, but he isn't going to get it.
All right, take a look at this thing. First of all, this shot here, well, Holt, we're not down there, and Holt, felt he might have been held earlier than that, but that was a good play. But just remember now, they burnt the ball on first down, so they only have 2 more downs.
3rd and 10 at the 25. Again, no timeouts to go, 37 seconds.
Just pick up the 10. You need to get the 10 to get a fresh set of downs.
Boyd throwing, has a completion right around the 20. It's going to be well shy of the first down. It's going to bring up 4th down.
And you still don't have to go to the end zone. Anything out to get to the out-of-bounds line and stop the clock. You can still throw like a 6 or 7 yard pass and pick up the first down.
This is it, 14 seconds to go, 4th and 5. Boyd setting, tucking, throwing over the middle. It's tipped and intercepted. That's the game. Vegas is going to the championship. Almost the story for California's offense tonight. Almost on a drive that ended in a fumble. Almost on the drive trying to get the winning score that ends with an interception.
And the big thing was the fumble by Corey Ross in the end zone. He had a magnificent football game, but the only problem is that the people that are watching the game and rooting for California remember the fumble in the end zone where you're on your way in to score. I thought they did a tremendous job on this drive. The one mistake that I think that Boyd made is when he was running around with the ball. Now he's down to 15 seconds and the clock's running. He still had time to throw a short out to the outside and kill the clock and be able to get it with maybe about 10 seconds and still be able to throw 2 or 3 more shots.
Off the hands of Ross, intercepted by Nick Turnbull. J.P. Lossman will take a knee. Las Vegas going to 3-2, and the Locomotives going to play Florida in 2 weeks, and they'll go back home first next week to take on New York. You can see it here, and California will close out their regular season against Florida. A great effort by Dennis Green's team, not just tonight, Paul, but the team that kept improving throughout this season.
You know, he made every move that he needed to make to put him in this position, to have this game where they have a chance of not, just winning this football game, and they had to win the next one also, and Las Vegas lose, basically. So I just like the fact that what Dennis Green did with this football team.
16-10, Las Vegas wins it. We'll be back to wrap it up when we come back to San Jose.
Welcome back to San Jose. Las Vegas survives for a 16-10 victory. Head coach Jim Fossil. Wow, you said at the beginning of the year that the championship game goes through Vegas in your home stadium. You didn't want 2 teams from other cities playing in that. How gratifying is it to accomplish that goal?
Well, it's really gratifying because I meant that. Hey, we should be there playing in that game. And I tell you what, I got to take my hat off to Denny Green, his staff, and the team. They fought hard. They played hard. The first half they got some breaks. Second half we got some breaks. But that was a well-played, tough-nosed football game.
Without a doubt, I think I saw one of the strangest scoring drives ever. During that second half, California gets 50 yards of penalties on them. They get a player ejected, and you manage to put that all behind you. You drive down and take the lead with a touchdown. Talk about that scoring drive.
Well, it was that. I talked to the team at halftime. I pulled the whole offense over and then defense one time. I said, you guys got to start focusing on your job, not them. If they want to push and shove, forget about them. Get back in the huddle. I'll throw you out. I'm going to pull you out of the game if we do that. Settle down, focus on the game, and I thought we did that.
Coach, I know you're going to enjoy this victory, but quickly, your thoughts about playing Florida again in the UFL championship game.
Well, I tell you what, you don't give me a second to you. This one's just over.
Enjoy it.
Oh, I tell you what, my stomach's still churning. We want to get there bad. We and our guys really fought hard today, and I was proud of them. But it'll be exciting to go to that game. There's no question about it. And Florida's beat us twice, so we got to get better.
Coach, get in that locker room and enjoy this victory.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Kenny, Paul, back upstairs.
All right, thanks, Ron. Congratulations to Jim Fossil and staff and all the Vegas Locos, as they will be at home. And again, they're going to playing next week. It's going to be an interesting dichotomy of this game. Obviously, they're going to the playoffs, but they're going to be playing a New York team that there's a lot of pride there trying to get their first win of the season.
Yeah, when you look at the standings here and you see Vegas now that they're at 3-2 and they're going to play in the championship game in their home, which is really kind of neat. But the question is, we have that game next week in Vegas, and what is Fossil going to do? You got to remember now, there's only 50 guys, and a lot of these guys have some bumps and bruises. And who do you save? Do you get out of the rhythm that this team is in? Tonight they played, I thought, terrific defense. Offensively, it was near the end that they really put it together. But it's going to be very interesting next week to see what he does against New York, because here's a team that they're going to play that has not won a game.
And you wonder as well, like you say, they want to keep that rhythm, and as you say, too, it's not like they have a whole lot of guys that they can be bringing into certain positions. So we take a look at the final stats in this game. Great rushing night for Corey Ross tonight for the Redwoods. Unfortunately for him, he has the fumble at the 2-yard line. The passing numbers, as good as they've been all season for the Redwoods. Shane Boyd had his best passing game. A couple of turnovers in the game for the Redwoods, the big one being the fumble.
And the one thing that we talked about at halftime too, Kenny, is that there were no turnovers in the first half. And we said the team that can avoid the turnovers, protect the football, wins the football game. If Ross doesn't fumble, if they score a touchdown. Now, we're not saying that Vegas was out of it, but man, that play was so huge for this football team. You have to protect the football. They didn't when it counted, and it cost them the football game.
And Las Vegas came in. They knew what was on the table. They had to win to be in for sure. They have. We'll see next week then how well they're able to keep this momentum going And New York, I'm sure, watching tonight saying we're going to get one win before this season's over. We got one more shot. It's next week.
Yeah, I'm really kind of excited to see what Teddy Cottrell in New York does against this team. And I really don't, I don't care who you play. You do not want to finish a season, even if it's only 6-game season, with no victories at all. And New York, they're going to come in loaded up to play a good football game.
16-10, the final score. Las Vegas holding off California. You've been watching the UFL on HDNet. Executive producer of HDNet, producer of tonight's game, Darrell Ewald. Our broadcast directed as always by Hank Lena. Feature producer, Bo Vonsakoon. Production coordinator, Chris Markwell. Graphics coordinator, Mike Boyd and Ruben Jimenez. The HDNet remote engineering team, Dan Neighbors, Jeff Carman, and Andy Miranda. Make sure to tune in next Friday as our HDNet cameras travel to Vegas. The Locos hosting the New York Sentinels, pregame 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. We are indeed a family here at HDNet. For my broadcast partners, Paul McGuire, Ron Kruk, and Natalie Taylor, I'm Kenny Rice. Thinking of the Kruk family as we say so long from San Jose this evening.